Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jetskier store locations.
If it sounds too good to be true, well, you know the rest. But I get it. Some deals sound tempting, like this guy.
These prices are insane! The boss has lost his mind!
When it comes to your home's heating system, do you really want to do business with a company that resorts to gimmicks like this? You could call them and see what they are really offering, and then give Mr. Furnace a call. In fact, they encourage you to call around and get quotes first, and then call Mr. Furnace. You'll see why. Give it a try. Call 204-832-6243.
In today's business world, hiring and retaining staff is a challenge. But Chambers Plan Employee Benefits gives you an edge. A solid benefits plan can be the deciding factor for job seekers. 30,000 Canadian businesses agree Chambers Plan gives you the flexibility to offer comprehensive benefits with affordable, stable premiums. See how Chambers Plan can benefit your business at buychambers.ca. That's BUY Chambers.ca.
Rule the outdoors with Makita Outdoor Power Equipment, available at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. Right now and only while the Jets are in the playoffs, spend a minimum of $500 on Makita products and receive a free Makita cordless radio worth $209. Plus, get a 4-amp battery at a special discounted price. Makita lawnmowers, line trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws are in stock too.
Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
Hey, this is Alex Iafallo. Kelly Moore and company are getting you prepped with the Winnipeg Jets pregame show at 680 CJOB.
Great goaltending, just deep teams that play hard, tough buildings to play in. Obviously, Dallas probably more veteran lineup, a little more experience, and guys that have been there a little bit longer. But at the same time, teams that are obviously really, really well coached. There's some similarities, yet there's some differences.
I think Dallas has three, pretty skilled forward lines. I thought St. Louis only had two, so they come at you with a lot of different looks. All their forward lines kind of play, have a little bit different style and do certain things well. And they got a good team, well-built D, good goalie. It'll be a good test.
I'd probably say that they're top end. I'm having 9 forwards that are coming at you. If Robertson's in, it even adds to their depth. So they can strike. And then the other side of it, they defend really well. They defend a lot like us. There's a lot of similarities, but they have a pretty good attack game that we have to be aware of.
You play this team throughout the regular season and have a bit of an idea of what to expect, but until the series gets going, there's sort of takes on a life of its own. So we're looking forward to getting going here. Obviously, everyone's real proud of the way that we battled back in the last one, but in saying that, that's in the past now, and just kind of build off it. And obviously, Dallas had a huge Game 7 too, so both teams are feeling obviously pretty good about themselves, and it's going to be another great series.
Our colleague from the Winnipeg Sun, Paul Friesen, asked those questions of Hayden Fleury, Luke Shen, and Scott Arniel about compare the differences between the Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues. And you heard some of the responses there as we welcome you back. And don't forget to stay tuned to the post-game show for the 3 stars for Shine Dental. Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with shinedental.ca. I don't know if anything that was said there, Dwayne Gillowoychuk, would influence what you already had planned for your keys to the game. But I would think some of the conversations we've had over the past 2 hours plus would probably be repeated now.
Yeah, I think, it's going to be, a feeling out process a little bit. These teams have played against each other. They know the personnel. They've gone up and down the lineup, and they know, who they're possibly going to face against, especially in this first game. Some line matchups that coaches would have mentioned for sure. But I think there's going to be a lot of similarities. It may not be a lot. The hit chart might not be as high, but I think at the end of any game in this series, no matter how long it goes, there's going to be a few ice bags that are going to be handed out around the dressing room for sure.
Yeah, okay, so tactically, what kind of things are you looking for tonight?
Well, I think first and foremost, the Winnipeg Jets have to establish their identity. They have to play fast. They have to play play disciplined and direct, detailed hockey. They kind of got away that in the first series, but I think it's something that they've got to do consistently. They don't have to do it for 3 periods every game, but they have to do it consistently enough in this game here to get back and take advantage of this series early. And then the second one for me would be puck management. They have to be disciplined with their puck management. They have to have good support. They have to have clean exits or breakouts out of their zone. Transitions got to be quick and efficient, but especially in the offensive zone, they can't turn pucks over high. They can't just throw a puck somewhere. They've got to do something good with it, and if they can do that, they'll have some quality chances on Ottinger, which they need to do early. They can't let them settle into this series.
Yeah, you go back to that third goal that St. Louis scored, and it all starts because Nikolai Ehlers can't quite take that pass clean. And if you even wind it back to the first period where the Jets just caught standing still, waiting for passes to come to them and couldn't manufacture any speed out of it. So that's kind of dovetailing into those comments you just made.
Yeah, exactly. The mistakes, you heard the players talk about self-inflicted mistakes they made in that first round. They've got to be disciplined to how they want to play, the style of play. You've heard all year, especially in the first series, they've got to play Winnipeg Jet hockey, and that's their identity. That's what they have to get to.
All right, keys to the game for St. Andrews Parts and Power, where a handshake means something. For more, head to standrewspartsandpower.ca. All right, Mr. Rewicki, one other game tonight as we are now into round number 2. Once this game's completed, everybody will have at least one game under their belt. But the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers are into game number 2, and it's a barn burner.
Yeah, and Joseph Woll just made a huge save just now. But the Leafs right now are up 4-3. The big guns for the Leafs have really showed up in this series and the playoffs so far with William Nylander. Mitch Marner's just scored the go-ahead goal to put the Leafs up 4-3. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can keep that going. Anthony Stolarz is out for tonight's game, so Joseph Woll was in net. That's why he made that big save.
All right, so 4-3, the Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Florida Panthers, looking to take a 2-0 lead there. We're also well into the NBA playoffs as well.
Yeah, Kelly, and this score is just official, just final now, and the New York Knicks take game 2 to go up 2-0 in the series. They win that 91-90. Josh Hart for the Knicks led the way with 23 points. And Derek White, the Swiss Army knife for the Celtics, he led the way for the Celtics. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they didn't have their greatest game. So it's absolutely shocking to see the Knicks go up 2-0 in the series. 2 games in Boston. They'll head to New York for games 3 and 4. And then a little bit later on, we got the OKC Thunder taking on the Denver Nuggets. Another crazy game there. 2 MVP candidates in Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets, and then Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Thunder. Jokic was outstanding.
Winnipeg and Manitoba's listening.
680 CJOB hears you.
We have experienced an inordinate amount of crime.
And is always here for you.
I was thanked for my efforts with a gun to my head and my life threatened.
When you have questions, concerns.
We've been told time and time again, there's no money.
That desire to just get together.
Go, Jets, go!
CJOB not only brings you the story.
Joe and I are down at the Winnipeg Whiteout Street Party.
We go to the story.
Brett McGarry on location.
Here with you.
We are in the East Exchange.
And for you, 680 CJOB.
You have been listening to the official Winnipeg Jets pregame show. Getting ready for Puck Drop with Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton. Coming right up on 680 CJOB.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Waters, and reliable heating and air conditioning is truly a family. My parents started the business over 30 years ago, and today, me and my brother Clint are carrying it on, with customer satisfaction being priority number 1. We believe good service is affordable to all our customers, so give us a call if your furnace or AC isn't working like it should. We want you to feel comfortable 24/7. We are family strong, reliable strong, and Winnipeg strong. For details, visit reliableheatair.ca.
Physiotherapists are licensed healthcare professionals who work in private clinics or who deliver mobile therapy services within your home. They also work in a variety of public sector settings, hospitals, personal care homes, schools, and within community therapy services. They can assess, treat, and manage pain, injuries, movement dysfunction, and a variety of chronic medical conditions. Click Find a Physio on Manitoba Physiotherapy Association's website at mbphysio.org so you can get back to enjoying life and the activities you love.
Care to sample our delectable filet mignon?
Oh, no, thank you. Actually, I'd love to, but my dentures have another idea.
Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with Shine Dental. Their expert team helps secure loose dentures while improving your oral health, making eating more pleasurable and ensuring you smile confidently. Available at Shine Dental's 1104 Pembina Highway location.
Would you like to try?
Yes, I would.
Book today and find your shine at shinedental.ca.
You can now get your local news from 680 CJOB instantly on Amazon Alexa. Just add CJOB to your flash briefings on any Alexa device and say,
Alexa, play me the news.
it's that easy.
Global News at Puck Drop, I'm Jura McElwraith. After his White House visit yesterday, Prime Minister Mark Carney reconnected with Canada's premiers today to brief them on his first meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said they congratulated Carney for the restraint he showed during his encounter with Trump, calling it a good start to a new relationship. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe adds he's looking forward to robust conversations with Carney and the other premiers when they meet in Saskatoon in early June. A statement from the Prime Minister's office says Ottawa and the premiers agreed to accelerate project approvals, while Carney aims to table federal legislation to eliminate trade barriers by Canada Day. And looking locally, Winnipeg police are searching for a woman that went missing on May 6th. 25-year-old Kaylee McCready was last seen that morning near Lakeland Place and Chancellor Drive in Winnipeg. She was wearing an all-black outfit and is described as 5'4" with a heavy build, long black hair, and brown eyes. McCready drives a white Honda Civic with the Manitoba license plate LPN 857. Anyone with information on her whereabouts should contact the WPS Missing Person Unit. And finally, a city committee is inviting Winnipeggers to appeal a decision that would redevelop an over-century-old building in the Exchange. The director of the Planning, Property and Development Department recently approved a permit to redevelop the Sanford Building and Moz Garage on Bannatyne Avenue. However, the Historical Buildings and Resources Committee says it does not support the decision, saying the plan would not preserve the heritage and character defining elements of the structure. Residents can submit an appeal to the city, which costs $955 anytime before 4:30 this Friday. And now over to your Winnipeg Jets game right here on 680 CJOB.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Club is expressly prohibited. Live from Canada Life Centre, this is Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB. Now here's the voice of your Winnipeg Jets, Paul Edmonds.
It would be hard to top what transpired here on Sunday night for the Winnipeg Jets in any playoff series for many years to come. But the beauty of it happening means the Stanley Cup playoffs continue for at least another round. After dispatching the St. Louis Blues in an absolute thriller of a 7-game first-round set, the Jets now move on to host the Dallas Stars in round 2 in what should be another epic battle. For Winnipeg, resting on their laurels shouldn't be a problem entering tonight. After all, when you're the President's Trophy winners, you expect to be here, regardless of how you arrived. But as round 1 turns quickly into round 2, the Jets will need to ready themselves again for another tough grind of a series against the team that chased them all season long in the Central Division standings. And Mitchell Clinton, nobody should expect the Jets to duplicate Sunday's heroics again in this series with the Stars. But by moving on from St. Louis, they'll at least get a chance to also move along in the playoffs with an opportunity, to the very least, repeat it all again.
That's right, Paul. Having a couple days between that epic Game 7 win over St. Louis and the start of this series against Dallas was crucial, in my opinion. Now, Dallas certainly had their own memorable Game 7 and had some rest as well, but Winnipeg is the team trying to pull the quicker turnaround here tonight in Game 1. One of those rest days was spent simply recovering. But when the Jets rolled in for practice on Tuesday, all the focus was on Dallas. So while looking back at highlights of Game 7 is fun for fans and broadcasters, the Jets will be implementing the mindset that gave them a lot of success this season. Leave that big win in the rearview mirror and give the present all your focus.
It's the Jets and the Dallas Stars, Game 1 of Round 2, and it's coming up next. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
The world is full of complex problems.
Peace in Ukraine. It's time for it to be over.
But when Hal Anderson asked a simple question,
what wish can I grant for you?
Our CJOB listeners proved connecting is how we find answers.
I would wish that my grandson would accept help with his addictions and with his mental health, and that things were a lot easier for people like him.
Marie, I can't imagine.
I had a wish, but then I heard that lady come on.
My wish today is for Marie. I wish her the best.
I wish I could grant that wish for you.
Connecting Winnipeg with Hal Anderson, 10 to 12 weekdays, only on CJOB.
Lowry moving in, shoot.
Jets fans, it's your chance to win big all night long with our playoff 50-50 raffle. Get your tickets now for a shot at multiple cash prizes during the game, ranging from $1,000 to $25,000. Plus, one lucky winner will take home 50% of the total sales at the end of the series. Don't miss out. Text JETS to 20450 for your chance to win. That's JETS to 20450.
The official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton with you. Game 1, Round 2, and here we are. And as we just talked about in Boys in the Booth, let's not, be challenged by the fact that this series is in Game 1, and it might not live up to what we saw at the end of series number 1 with St. Louis. This series will have some time to build as well, like that other series did. And I don't think, as we pose the question to Scott Arniel today, that anybody is preparing themselves for a short series here. So there will be an opportunity for this set, Round 2, between these two teams that were 1-2 all year in the Central Division, the two top teams in the Central, to build a life of its own as this series goes along. So let's examine some of the areas that are going to be key for either one of the two teams to win this series and outlasting the other. Let's start in goal. And for me, Jake Ottinger's been fairly consistent. He certainly was very good for most of the series against the Colorado Avalanche. There was a opportunity where Casey DeSmith did come into one game, but we saw that as well with Connor Hellebuck and with Eric Comrie. The other side of this is, and there's been a lot of questions asked about Connor Hellebuck being pulled 3 times, all 3 times in St. Louis. He stood up. I thought he delivered like he did going into Game 5, and then leading up to today's game yesterday, talked about his whole experience in the 7 games, and I thought he had his finest hour in the last hour and a half of that game, which happened to be when the game got to 3-1 St. Louis. He shut the door. But goaltending will be a contributing factor to the one team that gets the best goaltending to win this series.
Yeah, the good folks on Jets at noon today were talking to me about this similar thing about goaltending. And the one thing that I mentioned about Connor Hellebuck was the save that he made on Colton Parayko in overtime, where, Parayko, it's a rush chance for St. Louis. They're coming up ice. Parayko gets that pass as kind of the next layer and takes a shot from the top of the circle. Where's Connor Hellebuck? Top of the crease. Basically saying to Parayko, beat me. And that's the kind of confidence that Connor Hellebuck has in himself. Has it always gone his way, in that first round series? Did it go his way all the time? No. But the one thing is, and he's been very open about the mental kind of ups and downs of going through that grind of a series, how badly he wanted to be a big part of the reason that Winnipeg was able to move on and get past the first round. That was, in my opinion, him just saying, you know what, caution to the wind, let's play goal the way I know how to play goal. And that, for me, was one of the most positive signs from Winnipeg, especially in that Game 7, like you mentioned. He really locked it down once it got to 3-1. So curious to see. I know momentum doesn't necessarily go from game to game, but you can certainly, if you're Connor Hellebuck, take a lot from your performance when your team's back and your back was against the wall and you're hovering there on the abyss of possibly getting eliminated once again. And everyone, Connor Hellebuck, players included, all said that's not happening. So I look forward to that. And, there's been some conversation over, does this series maybe sway USA Hockey coming to the Olympics? I think that's still a little bit too far away. I think, Connor Hellebuck's looking at, winning his third Vezina. He's a Hart finalist. I mean, there's a lot to be said before we get to the Olympics. But specifically on this series, I mean, both of them are going to look down the other way at each other and know that they got to be the better goaltender in the series to give their teams a chance.
He also made a great save on Nathan Walker when there was a turnover by the Winnipeg Jets right by their net in that game as well. So it wasn't just the Parayko right down Broadway chance. There was a few others as well. And I just found he found his game as he went along. Something clicked. There was a switch, and he even talked about that. He felt it in his own mind, and Neil Pionk discussed that as well, where he came in and said, guys, there's not another goal that's going to beat me. There's not another shot that's going to beat me. And the crowd rallied behind him as well. And great quote, he said, our crowd and this team believe in me as much as I believe in myself, and that is dangerous. So maybe what he's saying is it's a harbinger of things to come. The best is still yet to come for Connor Hellebuck. Now, I'll also say this, and we can analyze this and put perspective on things. Scott Arniel discussed the fact that he felt that his team looked nervous to start in game number 7. He was loquacious about that. He acknowledged that. He didn't run from it. I wonder if there was a number of players that felt that way, including their goaltenders. So much has been expected of this team for not just this year, but going back a couple of years. And they were facing the fact that if they didn't win game 7 in the dramatic fashion that they did, it's 3 years in a row of being out and answering the same litany of questions again that you have for the last 2 Mays, respectively.
Yeah, and you look back at the last time that this organization was in a game 7 against Nashville, how different the context was, right? They were coming off their first, series win as a franchise over the Minnesota Wild, and you're going up against the President's Trophy winners in Nashville that year. So you're kind of the team that's, just showing everyone what you're capable of, versus the context of game 7 against the St. Louis Blues the other night was exactly like you mentioned. You're answering all those questions in the face once again. So, Winnipeg was very good at rising to the occasion. And I don't wonder, now that we're into the second round, if the starts get a little bit better for Winnipeg, especially at home. You've been through the energy, the nervous excitement of coming out into this building, coming out into the whiteout to start a series, to start a big game, whatever that may be. And I think that's going to be a huge asset for Winnipeg against a Stars team that's had one more day of rest than Winnipeg has after their 7-game series too.
Okay, simply, how do you view this series?
About it, whether it's been from the players or head coach Scott Arniel, you kind of go from, maybe if you could say 2.5 lines that can really put the puck in the net from St. Louis to 3 with Dallas, especially with Jason Robertson, who, as listed now on the roster side of things, is in the lineup for Dallas as expected. That adds another 35 goals to Dallas's lineup, right? That wasn't there in the first round. So it's going to kind of be depth versus depth, if you will. Your high-end guys have to beat their high-end guys, but Winnipeg's depth, I think, really showed itself in that series against St. Louis. They're going to have to continue to do that in this series, and I think that's where this one could be won or lost, is who can be the hero for their team every single night, because it's going to come down to one line just potentially beating the other in any particular game while the others are awash.
I don't believe that this series will have the physicality. I do believe that it will have a snarl as it goes along and it gets deeper. Certainly there are a number of players that will compete on the Dallas Stars, no doubt, but you don't have a fourth line of Toropchenko, Faksa, and Walker running around hitting everything in a Winnipeg Jets jersey as you did for 7 games against St. Louis. It might be more finesse, there might be more talent, but I also believe that you're going to see an up-tempo, a higher pace in this game, getting north-south for both the two teams. It will be tightly defended, as you mentioned, inside the 2 blue lines, but I think these 2 teams will not have to shoulder check all the time, worried about somebody running them through the boards. Now, it was interesting, though, as we say all of this, because there's a blueprint, and Pete DeBoer talked about that. He said they would be absolutely folly if they didn't look at what St. Louis did to get within 2 seconds of beating the Winnipeg Jets and then trying to employ some of that in this series and starting with game number 1 tonight. What that is, we don't know, but you would like to think that it's probably something to do with the physicality that St. Louis executed on the Winnipeg Jets for 7 games.
Yeah, pressure on the forecheck would especially be the one that I would be keeping an eye on, especially because, like you mentioned, that Faxa line with Toropchenko and Walker was just consistently, especially if they were on the ice with Josh Morrissey, who was a game-time decision, not playing tonight based on the roster online here. You know, every time Josh Morrissey was on the ice, he was getting hit. Dylan DeMello, the same thing. And it was kind of all the way through the D. Now, Winnipeg was able to outlast that, and I think on top of that, Connor Hellebuck played a little bit of a role. Did he have some puck-playing adventures in that series? Yes. But I think once he simplified that, he was really helpful to the Winnipeg Jets defense. So I look for the Stars to try to get in on the forecheck. And the other thing that stands out, when you go back to the regular season matchups between these two teams, yes, playoffs are different. But the one game that Winnipeg did lose to Dallas in Dallas, a lot of stretch plays, a lot of kind of moving, stretching the ice, forcing Winnipeg's D back, and trying to keep Winnipeg from keeping that tight gap through the neutral zone and being able to defend as a group of 5 with Dallas coming up the ice. Just less pressure being able to be applied to Dallas. So that'll be the thing that I watch for. They're a quick transition team as the Dallas Stars, especially with players like Rupe Hintz that like to get up ice. So it's such an intriguing matchup, especially given the fact that pretty much every game between these two teams over the course of the season was close. And their strengths kind of mirror each other's strengths. It's going to be a series that, you know, I think it's off to a roaring start here in game number 1.
Here's some interesting factors just what we talked about with Pete DeBoer on the blueprint. He said the recency factor is always critical. We've looked at that series pretty heavily, that being Winnipeg versus St. Louis. We'd be crazy not to look at what St. Louis did well and where they fell short. On the other side, Scott Arniel said yesterday, we're not going to overhaul our systems, but rather pick up on tendencies. So there's the game within the game, and it switches to 2 different teams as they plan and try to maneuver around each other as well. The other thing I want to talk to you about, because we didn't talk a lot about it as the series went along with St. Louis, but you look now and you have a better idea through more games and more power plays and time short, is the specialty teams for both these two teams. Winnipeg, 10 straight kills on the penalty kill, and for the Dallas Stars, 3 straight games with a power play goal. I do believe, as it was a factor early on in the series with St. Louis, that specialty teams will be just that in this series between the Jets and Stars.
Yeah, especially as the two teams kind of get used to each other, right? And game 1's kind of a good example of that. You look at the start of the series between the Jets and the Blues, Winnipeg's penalty kill really struggled against St. Louis, and it usually just comes down to details and minor adjustments. It's not like you say go from a diamond PK to a box and all of a sudden change everything when you talk about making adjustments. It's just little reads and switch offs and getting back to the fundamentals that make you a really good penalty killing team, as Winnipeg was, especially in the second half of the season. And, for Dallas, a team that was a really good penalty-killing team all year, they finished their series against Colorado on an 8-for-8 run. So you talk about special teams, Winnipeg had a couple of big penalty kills, especially in Game 5 and also in Game 7, and Dallas the same way. So, it can be at any moment of the game. Winnipeg ends up winning in double overtime against St. Louis, but they had the power play in the first overtime, right? Game could have ended there. St. Louis gets a big penalty kill. And we've said it throughout the regular season that if you ask a coach, especially going into the playoffs, which one you want to have going, you'll want to have a stronger penalty kill. The power play will usually find its way. You have a strong penalty kill like both of these teams did, and usually it puts you in a good spot, and look where they are, the second round of the playoffs.
What does it mean to get Scheifele back in that top line, play with Velarde and Connor, and what does it mean now to drop Nemesnikov back with 2 guys he's familiar with, the Ehlers and Perfetti? And also, in that same vein, what does it mean to have that grind line back together with Lowry, Appleton, and Niederreiter?
Yeah, you look familiar in a whole lot of reps, right? That's exactly what these lines have together over the course of the regular season. First time this group of 12 forwards will be together since March 23rd against the Buffalo Sabres when Gabriel Velarde went down to injury. So that's not a small thing either. Winnipeg getting more healthy as the playoffs go. You just hope for, Josh Morrissey, Logan Stanley, that they're available as soon as possible.
So we've talked about goaltending, specialty teams, physicality, pace, tempo, a cadence to this one as well. It should have some nastiness between the two teams that were battling all year for first place in the Central. Winnipeg down the stretch overtook the Dallas Stars and really pushed them back in behind. Dallas, if you recall, ended the regular season losing 4 in a row. And a lot of people didn't expect them to beat Colorado, especially after the way Game 1 went between the Stars and the Avalanche. But here they are taking on the Winnipeg Jets. The Stars have got to the Western Conference Final 2 years in a row, looking to make it 3. And certainly they've had 3 finals appearances in the Western Conference in the last 5 years. Should be an excellent series here tonight and going forward as well. Game 2, Friday night here in Winnipeg at 8:30. Game 3, Sunday, 3:30 in Dallas. Game 4, Tuesday at 7 in Dallas as well. Let's go downstairs for the anthems tonight. The Star Spangled Banner, followed by O Canada, as sung by the original, the one, the only, Soul Bear.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Our referees for tonight's game are Garrett Rank and Jean Hebert. On the lines, Devin Berg and Bevan Mills. Let's have a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Windeck. Do it once, do it right. Visit windeck.ca. To do that, here's Mitchell.
Thank you, Paul. Jake Ottinger gets the start between the pipes for the Dallas Stars. Had a .911 save percentage in the first round. Essa Lindell and Cody Ceci on the blue line, and up front, Jamie Benn, Matt Duchesne, and Tyler Seguin. For the Winnipeg Jets, it's Connor Hellebuck, an .830 save percentage in that first round. On the blue line, it'll be Hayden Fleury and Dylan DeMello. And up front, Nikolai Ehlers, Vlad Nemestikov, and Cole Perfetti.
First period opening face-off is for Cambrian Credit Union looking for a mortgage. Get peace of mind and flexibility with the new Best of Both Worlds mortgage. Visit Cambrian.mb.ca. Jets in blue, Stars in white. Hellebuck down to our right, Onger down to our left. Jets are flying from our broadcast right to left. Teams will come to center ice to get it started. Game 1, round 2. Western Conference semifinal. First time these two teams have met in the playoffs. Teams will come to center as mentioned. Puck is dropped, and it's showtime from downtown Winnipeg. Glad to have you along on the radio home of the Winnipeg Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB. How do you folks tuning in on satellite radio and on the NHL app across North America and worldwide? Slickly through that center ice area, Duchesne. Duchesne passed it off there for Seguin. Seguin turned it over. Winnipeg out of their own zone, and Ehlers will flop it down inside of that Dallas end. There you go. 7 straight games with St. Louis. Just about mentioned that. Out towards center ice, and Dallas will get it inside that Winnipeg end. Back inside his own zone, and Sandberg. He played over 40 minutes on Sunday. Now for Lowry. Lowry tried to chip it into that slot area. Broken up by Harley. Onto the far side for Rope. Hits a hard body check there by Lowry in front of his own bench. Winnipeg will spill it around to the far side. Hitz goes after it. He falls down. Winnipeg will get the puck, try to get it out. Appleton couldn't do that. It stays in at the line on the far side. To the near side, Lyubushkin. He'll paddle it down back in behind the net. After it, Granlund. Back in behind the goal for Hintz. Hintz back toward the line. Lyubushkin. Up top again for Harley. Shoots through traffic. Stop. Rebound. Bang. Way at it. It's Hintz, and he got a shot into the stick there of Hellebuck, who made the save, and Winnipeg will flush it back out towards center ice. 1:20's expired here, and backhanded from center ice by Harley down inside that Winnipeg end. Miller goes after it. He's played one playoff game. That was game number 3 of this series. He's out towards center ice. Tap dances inside that Winnipeg end and knocks it, into that Dallas end and knocks it in behind the net. Velarde goes after it, bounces around away from him. Scooting out towards center ice is Wyatt Johnston, and he'll tap it down inside that Winnipeg end.
And with that Lowry line reunited, looks like they got the initial Rupe, Hintz, Mikko Rantanen, and Granlund kind of match up early on here.
Scheifele across the line. Tried to hand it off at the side of the slot for Velarde. Broken up. Scheifele steals a puck. He tried to go cross ice. Broken up there by Johnston. Weaves out towards center ice onto the far side. Got a return pass from Marchment. And that was just over Wyatt Johnston's stick. Back in behind that Winnipeg net. Fleury with the puck. He'll settle it down. And look around. He had an excellent game as well on Sunday when Winnipeg was down to 4 defensemen. Essentially from the start of the game, Josh Morrissey played just 4 minutes. Out towards center ice, and Barron knocked it ahead now and swatted inside that zone by Tanev. Rolled around to the far side. DeMello will try to hold the line. He did with a glove hand pass that goes right to Tanev. And we'll get a stoppage of play inside the Dallas end. And then Leon Bischel and Brandon Tanev become entangled. The linesmen move in. Size differential there. Bischel is 6'7". Tanev is 6 feet.
Well, we've seen a couple of big hits early, both thrown by Adam Lowry, and we wondered about we knew there would be physicality in this series. The one thing that I do think will be different is Dallas is a little bit more of a mature group, a little bit more veteran players in their lineup, but not as many, if any, really, making their Stanley Cup playoff debut like, your Jake Neighbors, your Jimmy Snuggaroos were, so you won't necessarily see players running around a little bit looking for hits that aren't there.
Hawkinson down inside that Winnipeg end, rolled around to the far side. Iafallo had some problems with it, came back toward the line. Shot came in from Dadonov, and that's kicked away nicely by Hellebuck. Rebound back in behind the net, sent around to the near side, pulled off the wall. Fleury looks up ice, back into toward the middle here. For DeMello, back for Fleury. He weaves his way through that neutral ice, gains center ice, and snaps it in. It tumbles around to the far side. Bischel will pull that off the wall, lost it to Cole Perfetti, who got tripped off. No call going after the puck. And it's settled down inside that Dallas end by the captain and Ben. Now for Leon Bischel onto the far side again and hoisted down inside that Winnipeg end off the stick of Bouchane. It's then into the glove of Hellebuck. He will leave it onto the far side. Winnipeg will spell it back out towards center. Ben up along the boards and back inside his own zone. In toward the middle. For Seguin. Now for Duchesne. Through that neutral ice, he hops inside that Winnipeg end, takes a body smash on the far side, sent around to the near side. Lyubushkin will pitch in, put it out in front, stop, rebound over the net, and a great chance by Matt Duchesne. He wristed it over the net. Hellebuck was down on 2 pads. He might have had the top of the goal, and he missed by a foot. Winnipeg will sort it out towards center ice. They'll push the puck. Now it's Perfetti to cross the line. Perfetti and an exchange there with Ehlers. Turned over the puck. Back the other way. Granlund on the far side. Here comes Dallas across the line. Rantanen shoots off a skate and goes. Bounced off a stick as well. Winnipeg has to snatch that. Back toward the line. Shot came in off a stick as well, and it just goes over the net. Rope hints back toward the line again for Cody Ceci. To the near side again for Rantanen. Rantanen onto the far side. He will paddle that puck back around the board. Take a body check now for Granlund. Back in behind the net. Back out in front. And Rantanen another shot. Stopped by Hellebuck. Winnipeg under siege right now. And finally, it's pelted off the boards with a backhand by Perfetti. And it falls through the neutral ice and back inside that Dallas end. Winnipeg races to the bench for a line change.
Exactly what we talked about in the pregame show. Those blue lines. A little turnover by Winnipeg on a miscommunication, and Dallas pins them.
Robertson shot from a bad angle off a stick, and it flies into the meshing in the near side corner here, and out of play it goes. Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you in part by Winnipeg Clinic, Wallace & Wallace, and the Dairy Farmers of Manitoba.
Shots on goal are 5-0 Dallas. Connor Hellebuck just having a quick conversation with Garrett Rank, one of the officials. I think he feels that Mikael Granlund, as he was coming through the crease area there on that initial 3-on-2, may have stuck the arm out inadvertently, perhaps, I'm not sure, but kind of clipped Connor Hellebuck's mask.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck. Scheifele won it back into the corner against Wyatt Johnston. Moved up along the boards and out towards center ice it goes. Petrovic to the near side. For Marchment, redirected down inside that Winnipeg end. Luke Schenn gave it away. Came back toward the line. Trying to hold it and forced out nicely by Kyle Connor as he won the battle with Robertson. Marchment back at his own line onto the far side for Harley. Swings through that neutral ice to the near side for Robertson, but he was slightly in ahead of the play. And we will get an offside call against the Dallas Stars. 14:49 remaining in the opening period. No score.
I don't wonder if early on you're seeing the benefit of that extra day of rest for the Dallas Stars. And nice quick start for them on the road, just in terms of the pace that they're playing with and being able to get on pucks, force some turnovers out of Winnipeg. Or, you know, they had the full practice yesterday. Well, the optional practice that was basically fully attended, and a morning skate. So perhaps just a little bit of a fresher Dallas team showing up early here.
Interesting. We can talk more about that. I was not surprised to see everybody on the ice yesterday, especially with the day off on Monday.
Exactly.
These guys are creatures of habit, and even though they need their rest, they also want to be on the ice and be at the rink doing their routines. A big overskate of the puck. Steele in the high slot. Steele with the puck. Steele back to the near side. Redirected by Oscar Beck, and he just put it wide. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Dumped in by the red line, and Neil Pionk will head off as he did that for a line change. Exit stage right. Out towards center ice to the near side, and Fleury. Fleury got pushed off the puck. Picked up by Dadonov. Onto the far side for Lee and Bischel. Swings inside that Winnipeg and a 1-on-4. Still has the puck. Bischel will backhand it into where the corner. It rotates back in behind the net. DeMello goes after it to the near side again for Fleury. Up along the boards for Scheifele. Hard smash there along the boards by Bischel. Scheifele picks up his stick. And Winnipeg will fetch the puck back inside their own zone. DeMello now indirect for Scheifele. Hops inside the zone. Scheifele to the near side. Went cross ice for Kyle Connor. The puck was up in the air on that pass, and Connor couldn't knock it down out of the air. And quickly and swiftly sit back inside that Winnipeg end. On the puck on the far side. Ben back toward the line. Held by Lindell. He shoots it back in behind the net. Rolled around to the near side. Scoring after Ceci. Back in behind the goal. The wraparound attempt by Seguin. Stop. Tight against the post of the far side. Hellebuck. Back to the line again. Lindell. Spins it around to the near side. After it goes Connor. Came back for the line. Held again by Ceci. Shoot. Deflected in front. Stopped in front. Down on his knees was Fleury. Couldn't get it out. Back for the line. Ceci coming right down Main Street. Tried to pass it off back to Lindell. Shoot. And it's stopped by Hellebuck. Ooh, a game of pinball off skates and sticks and goaltenders and shin pads, and every bounce went to Dallas on that. And once again, Connor Hellebuck has the last say, makes the save and hangs on. 13:06 remaining in this opening period, awaiting the game's first goal. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97, 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Grab your jersey. Grab your generic lager. Impressively standard beer for impressively intense moments. Brewed in Winnipeg by Little Brown Jug. Generic, the most domestic choice.
In today's business world, hiring and retaining staff is a challenge. But Chambers Plan Employee Benefits gives you an edge. A solid benefits plan can be the deciding factor for job seekers. 30,000 Canadian businesses agree. Chambers Plan gives you the flexibility to offer comprehensive benefits with affordable, stable premiums. See how Chambers Plan can benefit your business at buychambers.ca. That's BUY chambers.ca.
Fighting crime and crime one drain at a time. There's a reason they call us Mr. as in Mr. Rooter. Every spring, our fair city is under attack by clogged drains and backed up sewers. When melting snow and heavy rains threaten to cause sewage and wastewater to back up into your home, only Mr. Rooter stands between your basement and total plumbing chaos. Call them today to clean your sewers and drains.
Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber. That's Mr. Rooter.
Hey, this is Mark Scheifele. Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton are bringing it Winnipeg Jets hockey style on 680 CJOB.
Winnipeg Jets hockey is brought to you in part by South Beach Casino, Boston Pizza, and Chamber Insurance. No score. Face off to the right of Hellebuck. 13:06 remaining in the opening period. Winnipeg has not registered a shot, and there's been a few, and maybe that will be a shot, although reaching up is Ottinger to glove that down well above the crossbar. If you were an off-ice official, as opposed to your time as an on-ice official, would you call that a shot, Mr. Clinton?
No, but it looks like they're going to give it to them, so that's why I was never an off-ice official. Such terrible judgment as that.
So Winnipeg wins the draw. Quick shot, just grazed the outside of the post by Neil Pionk on a face-off win. Dashing into where the corner on the far side and going to work there is Niederreiter back toward the line to the near side. Pionk thrust toward the net again, kicked away by Ottinger. Winnipeg spending some time inside the zone. Lead pass though out of the Dallas end as Rantanen pushed into where the corner. Stapled there nicely by Pionk. Rantanen still moving his feet, got it back toward the line for Ceci. Shoot! Off a stick and wide, bounced off the back wall, chopped out in front and juggled again off the stick and into the glove of Hellebuck. He'll hang on for a whistle. 12:27 remaining in the first period. No score. How can you tell when a goaltender's locked in? He can paddle the puck out of the air with his stick and bounce it into his glove and hang on for a stop.
And act all casual about it, too. Yeah. You know, I wonder what the message was to Winnipeg at that first timeout on the ice there. I wonder if it wasn't the coaching staff just being like, all right, you guys we've kind of run through the lines here. You guys are in it. You're feeling it. Now it's probably the best way to get your head locked into the fact that it's a brand new series being played a little bit differently. So now I expect Winnipeg to have a little bit of a bounce back here.
Face off to the right. Hellebuck. Winnipeg will win it. Face off win there by Nemestikov and flipped out with the backhand by Perfetti. Sent right back in by Dallas. Turning to skates Miller. Tripped and fell, but he will battle for the puck along the boards to the near side. He had some support, and now Nikolai Ehlers will race out towards center ice. Ehlers will dump it inside that Dallas end. After CC, he takes a body check for Nemestikov, who came flying in there. They're digging at it back in behind the net. Nemestikov will skirt around the boards. He'll collect it again, rim it around, and stop there. After it again goes a couple of defensive players for the Dallas Stars, and CC with Marchment there as well will finally plunger it back out towards center ice. Winnipeg will softly put it back in and head off in a line change. 11:40 remaining in the opening period. No score on your radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB. Scooting inside the zone is Steele. Moving around to the far side. Winnipeg will try to battle it there. They reverse now as Fleury. Fleury will hang on the puck. A rim around the boards. Pulled off the wall by Connor. Rink wide for DeMello. Up along the boards on the far side. Half a step Velarde. Velarde into where the corner. Put it back in behind the net for Scheifele. Scheifele rolled it around. Back toward the line. Pinching in his Fleury. He paddled that into where the corner. After goes Velarde. Scheifele there as well. Back in behind that Dallas net. 3 stars are there. Donoff goes after it. He will spin it around to the far side now for Beck. Beck can't get it out. Winnipeg will get it back into where the corner. Good job. Hit back on it. Front corner shot. And it's stopped by Ottinger. Winnipeg putting on the work boots, the hard hat, the high-vis vest, and bringing the lunch bucket on that one. Velarde, Connor, Scheifele, the D holding the line. Good chance, Velarde, for Connor back out in front. Ottinger standing tall and makes a save.
Yeah, Winnipeg gets a little bit of a line mismatch here with the Scheifele line out against the Sam Steele trio, and they go right to work, and I think Dylan DeMello, recognizing that they had Dallas defending a little bit, makes an aggressive pinch and keeps it alive, and that gives Winnipeg a 3-on-2 from the tops of the circles down, and they nearly exploit it to perfection.
Dallas wins the draw. They scoop it around to the near side, but Seguin can't get it out. Back into where the corner. Winnipeg after it again. Brandon Tanev trying to dig at it. Ben came back in behind his own net. Outlets it far side Duchesne. Long lead pass for Seguin. Too far for him. Icing will be the call against the Dallas Stars. 10:41 remaining in this opening period. No score. Jet fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear at TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new jersey for the Whiteout? Well, we've got you covered there too. TrueNorthShop.com.
Nemestikov line comes out. Nikolai Ehlers tried to exploit and use his speed in the neutral zone on his last shift out, trying to get around the check of Cody Ceci. Just bobbled the puck. Otherwise, I think he had a step.
Lindell off the glass. Trying to get it out. Bouncing around. Finally forced out. And picked up by Duchesne. Inside that Winnipeg end. He sways into where the corner. Puts on the brakes. Still has the puck. Duchesne threw it back out in front. Knocked away by Pion. Outlet at far side. Here's Nikolai Ehlers with some speed through that neutral ice. He'll plop it right on top of Ottinger. We'll glove that down and hang on for a whistle.
Winnipeg defending that rush really well against the Duchesne line. Just a good backtrack by Vlad Nemestikov, working in tandem with the defensive pair that was out there, and really kind of just forced Duchesne into the corner. He had nowhere really to go with that puck, and he just kind of tries to thread it into the middle of the ice. Winnipeg knocks it down, and they get going the other way.
Face off to the left of Ottinger. Winnipeg will scrape that into where the corner, but Hintz is there, and he just nudged it back out towards center ice. Is Winnipeg on the reload. Appleton spins inside that Dallas end, puts on the brakes, put it back for the line. Sanford shoots, and it's deflected in front by Niederreiter. Stopped by Ottinger, gathered up again. Niederreiter barging toward the net, shooting, and it's stopped on the short side, on the near side here by Ottinger, and he'll hang on. Well, it took Winnipeg a little while to get a shot, Mitchell, but they put a few testers toward Ottinger in the last couple of minutes. We'll let you talk about that when we come back. 9:57 remaining in the first period. No score. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97, 680 CJOB.
Boston Pizza is Canada's go-to place for playoffs. So this year, we're doing more than just hoping a Canadian team wins it all. We're manifesting it. We're planning the parade. We even got a bus. And we've got the sports bar dialed in, with ice-cold draft beer and an elite playoff menu. Like the guy in the movie said, kind of.
If we plan it, we will win.
So when it's game day, post up early at BP and cheer for the Holy Grail to come home.
Hi, Blake Legault here from Wilfs Eli Ford. Wilfs has been your independent, locally owned Ford dealership for 44 years. That's 44 years of loyal customers. And thank you for your dedication. We have amazing loyalty offers on Edge and F-150s. But it doesn't stop there. We also have 0% financing on most lines. Do you want to know why customers keep coming back to Wilfs Eli Ford? Come in for a visit. Once you experience our pressure-free buying experience, I'm sure you'll keep coming back too. See wilfseliford.ca for details.
The power of nature flows through Manitoba. We harness it and turn it into reliable, affordable energy. It's not just energy. It's a promise that connects us all, a promise for the future. Our investment in Manitoba is significant, but the value we generate together is beyond measure. Manitoba Hydro. Energy for life.
This is your front row seat to all the action for Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first period. No score. We do it to the right of Ottinger deep inside that Dallas end.
Dallas started with a 9-0 shot advantage. It's been 5-0 Winnipeg since, and they've generated it a few different ways. Couple off the forecheck, couple off some quick reloads. That's what, and then some second chance opportunities like the Niederreiter one that we just had.
Dallas wins the draw. Lindell, far side for Robertson. Turned over the puck, sent it back inside. Luke Shen takes a shot on the far side from Marchman, but Winnipeg's going to be offside. And we'll get a stoppage of play. And that's the other thing, too. Like, we have watched Gabe Velarde and Nikolai Ehlers try to immerse themselves back into the tempo and the pace of playoff hockey. Jason Robertson's doing the exact same thing, and this is the starting point for him tonight for the Stars.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not an easy thing to do to jump into the first round, let alone jump into the second round like Robertson's trying to do in this one.
Winnipeg will run it around. Hard after the puck, trying to hunt it down inside that Dallas end. Velarde into where the corner, trying to free it up. Velarde twisted, tripped and fell. Fan wanted a penalty, not going to get one. Sent down inside that Winnipeg end. Luke Schenn, nice job to move it up along the boards. Velarde falls back inside his own zone. He'll leave it for Schenn. To the near side now for Miller. Miller playing his opposite side, right-handed shot, playing lefty. He'll snap it in from center ice. After it goes Appleton, he'll get it back into where the corner, pulled off the wall, ran in onto the far side now, and through that neutral ice is Granlund. Granlund will stuff it down inside that Winnipeg end. Rimmed around to the near side. Winnipeg goes after it there. Kyle Connor can't get it out. Then on off far side, slap shot from a bad angle. And the hash marks below that on the far side, stopped by Hellebuck, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 8:55 remaining in the first, no score.
Adam Lowry closing in quickly here on Leon Bischel, who gave a couple of extra shots after the whistle there. And I remember the regular season finale between these two teams that Winnipeg won back in Dallas. Bischel was an active member physically in that game as well, so something to watch for in this series.
Dallas went to the draw, curling in over the corner. Granlund turned and fired, took a shade off a body, came back in behind the net. Granlund with it again, trying to get it back out in front. Far side, Bischel shoots that one wide. Cascades around the boards. Winnipeg will try to get it ahead for Appleton, who flew the zone. And it was sent down by Niederreiter, and they're going to call an icing call against the Jets, but then reverse their decision and just have the center ice face-off as the fans made the call on that one.
Yeah, I think the linesman was blowing it down based on the race for the puck, didn't take into effect that Jake Ottinger had left his net to play the puck, and that'll immediately cause an icing to be waved off, so they just quickly dropped the puck in the neutral zone.
And Winnipeg wins that neutral ice face-off. And then try to move it up along the boards. Renton was there to stop that. Puck flies inside that Dallas bench. We're going to stoppage of play. 8.5 remaining. First period, no score.
And some looks for both teams. I think we've kind of started to see that feeling out process, right? Dallas coming off of playing a high-flying Colorado team, and Winnipeg coming off playing, a physical and tough St. Louis Blues team. So it's a little bit of a different feel out there, I think, for these guys. A much less physical series for the Dallas Stars, and perhaps maybe slightly more room to work with in terms of, not checking your shoulder every single time if you're the Winnipeg Jets, but still, a body between you and where you want to get to.
Winnipeg wins that neutral ice face-off. Sent in by Fleury, rolled around to the far side, pulled off the wall there by Iafallo. Puck just slipped his stick, and then it's rimmed around and out towards center ice by the Stars. Fleury will shoot it right back in. Stopped by Ottinger back in behind his own net. He'll put it into the corner. Hard rim by Harley. Gave it away, though. Tanev into the corner. Tanev is balled on the far side by Ben. Back in behind the net. Winnipeg after the puck in Morgan Barron. Ben comes in there to help out. Scooting there to support is Tanev back in behind the net for Barron. Barron working against a couple of Dallas Stars. Puck goes into the corner. Harley's there. Harley will push it off the boards and out towards center ice. It will find a seam, and Dallas will make a line change. Winnipeg out towards center ice will do the same, and Fleury will smack it back inside the zone and head off on a line change himself. Out towards center ice. Falls back inside the Winnipeg end. Miller far side for Schenn. Tapped up along the boards just to get it outside his own zone. Flushed down inside that Dallas end by Nemestikov. He goes after it against Lindell. Lindell up along the boards for Steele. Fanned on it. Lifted up along the boards. Stopped by Ehlers. Got stick lifted. Ran in with the puck. He pushed it out towards center ice. Race for the puck wide. Johnson goes after it. But Miller there to sweep that away. Winnipeg back through that neutral ice with some speed. Nikolai Ehlers across the line. Dropped it now for Miller. And he just couldn't hold it in. He pushed it into where the corner. Overskating the puck, Perfetti now again sent out towards center ice by Rantanen, now for Steele. And Steele will backhand it all alone inside that Winnipeg end. He'll exit stage left for a line change. Under 7 minutes remaining in the opening period. No score in the hockey game. Sandberg onto the far side. Now for Miller. Out towards center ice. tripped up, retained possession, dumped it inside that Dallas end. Labdushkin will send it out towards center. Off the stick of Johnston. It falls inside that Winnipeg end. Settled down by Sandberg. Outletted near side for Connor. Rink wide on the far side for Neil Pionk. He tried to get by. Marchment got hooked up. Penalty coming up to Dallas. And speed will kill you. And Winnipeg just showing some great speed by Neil Pionk, getting around Marchment, and he did some water skiing behind him.
And Marchment, I think, trying to sell the fact that once Pionk was past him, that the Jets defenseman grabbed onto the stick, and the official's not really hearing about it because basically once Pionk had him beat, Marchment put the stick there and had already kind of hooked Neil Pionk along the way. So good opening opportunity for the Jets power play that now has Mark Scheifele inserted right back into it.
Mason Marchment for hooking at 13:30. Jets on the power play for Prairie Battery. Your one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born and Canadian-owned, prairiebattery.ca. Winnipeg wins the draw onto the far side corner, darting out of the corner, and a shot toward the net was Connor off his stick, and it went wide. First touch, Winnipeg again, back toward the line for Pionk to the near side for Scheifele, back for Neil Pionk. He is hurried, twists around and fired it to the far side. Snatched there by Connor. Connor down low for Ehlers, rolls out in front, jam job, and it's stopped by Ottinger. And he'll hang on for a whistle. Ooh, Mitchell Clinton, I'm enjoying the puck movement on that power play by the Winnipeg Jets.
And the assertiveness. There must have been something in the pre-scout because we saw twice on this particular sequence, both Kyle Connor and Nikolai Ehlers, both left-handed shots, taking advantage of where that one penalty killer is and grabbing that route to the net and getting a good chance on goal before Dallas is able to get there. So something to watch is that low forward on the power play might have a bit of a net drive possibility.
6:07 remaining first period, no score. Jets will win the draw again. Pionk on the boards on the far side. Got it back again from Villarny to the near side. Left side point for Ehlers. Ehlers cross-ice pass intercepted by Steele. Outletted near side for Oscar Beck. Beck will trudge down inside the zone, but Steele in ahead of the play. Offside will be the call against the Dallas Stars. 5:51 remaining in the first period. No score, 1:21, and that penalty still to go to Mason Marchment.
Yeah, I was thinking that we might be about halfway through this power play, but you look up and only 39 seconds have gone off. Just shows how efficient Winnipeg was in that first sequence on the power play to create the couple of chances that they did, and then also get that puck retrieval and keep it in the Dallas end.
Lindell sways over to the far side as they won the draw, did Dallas, and he will fire with a slap shot inside that Winnipeg end. Jets will sort it out, and they'll come out on their own zone. Kyle Connor through that neutral ice. Onto the far side for Villarny. Spits it into where the corner. Dashing after it. Connor back toward the line for Pionk to the near side for Ehlers. Winnipeg will get it established. Into where the corner for Scheifele. Slices away from a check. Curl back in behind the net to the far side now. Controlled again by Connor for Scheifele back toward the near side. And nobody can get a stick on it. Controlled again. Pionk far side for Connor. Up top for Neil Pionk. Swings it to the near side for Scheifele. Dusts it off. Scheifele down low. Villarny back for Scheifele. Scheifele top of the circle. Shooting! It stopped. Rebound. It's in some skates. And it's pushed into where the corner by CC. After two Jets in on him. Trying to dig it out of CC's skates there. Villarny in to help out Lindell. He gave it away for Ehlers. Back toward the line for Connor. Up top for Pionk to the near side hash again for Scheifele. He sways in. Put it back toward the line. Got a return pass again. Scheifele moving in. Scheifele down low. Villarny drop step backhand forehand. And he got in too tight. And there to prevent it on the near side post from going in was the right pad of Jake Ottinger. And he'll make the save down on his chest and hang on with 6 seconds remaining in the penalty to Marchment.
I think Villarny wanted to flip this puck when he took it from backhand to forehand, but I think Lindell's stick just impacts what he's able to do with it, so he tries to force it into a backhand, and Ottinger knows he doesn't have a whole lot of space to work with, so he just pins that leg against the right post, and Villarny just runs out of room.
Nemestikov wins the draw. Miller up top, shooting, deflected in front, just grazed the outside post again. And then it's dumped the distance by Dallas, and that'll do it for the penalty to Mason Marchment. So Winnipeg 0 for 1 with a man advantage, but not for a lack of trying. With some speed through the neutral ice. Dumped in by Miller. Rolled around into where the cornerback in behind the net. Harley goes after it, rims it around again. Falls off the stick there of Rope Hintz. He got a little bit of help. settle down now and out towards center ice. Hintz onto the far side. Across the line was Rantanen. He almost toe-picked, rolled around to the near side. Labushkin takes a smash from Winnipeg's Nemestikov along the boards onto the near side. Inside that Winnipeg end at the hash marks. 2, 4, 5 players fighting for it. It's pinned against the boards. Nobody's really moving it. They're digging at it. Rantanen is there. A couple of Jets are there. Pushing it against the boards. A slash there by Labushkin. It knocked the stick out of Perfetti's hands, and they'll blow it down finally. And we'll get a stoppage of play in our final time out of the period and come back after these. 3:43 remaining in the opening period. Still awaiting the game's first goal, but it's been a good start to this series. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Noble, proud, feathered to stay warm. Goes great with watching hockey. Turkey, perfectly Canadian. Buy Canadian turkey and support Canadian farmers like me.
For fun and reliability you can count on, your one-stop battery source is Canadian-owned Prairie Battery.
Prairie Battery is family-owned and operated, providing reliable and trusted battery power. When you want true power, come see Prairie Battery and the Prairie Battery team, or visit us at prairiebattery.ca.
When you need batteries for industrial, commercial, auto, recreational, marine, RVs, and more, it can only be prairiebattery.ca.
Doug and Deb's deck was dilapidated, so they demolished their dismal deck and drafted a DIY do-over. Despairingly, the design was a disaster, and the deck was a dud.
Deck dilemma? Find out why we say do it once, do it right with Windeck. Hi, I'm Mel Dewick. With our low-maintenance products and award-winning design team, we can turn your outdoor living space into a beautiful deck that's easy to care for and built to last. Get inspired at windeck.ca. Do it once, do it right.
Bet on Manitoba. Enjoy responsibly. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
Jet fans, tonight's feature item of the game. Check out the exclusive Barteski Whiteout Apparel Collection designed by local artist Cal Barteski. Choose from a variety of styles. Available at TrueNorthShop.com. That's the official Barteski Whiteout Apparel. Jets Gear, the official team store of the Winnipeg Jets. No scores. We welcome you back. 3.5 remaining first period. Into the corner. Winnipeg trying to smother a couple of Dallas Stars. Ben is there fighting for it. Kicked it along the boards. Winnipeg will try to expel it. Came back to the line. Held there. Shot by Petrovic. That goes wide. Far side. Another shot. Jammed out in front. Stopped by Hellebuck. Ben tried to wrestle it away off that shot by Bischel. And it was taken off his stick, sent toward the line, held again. Petrovic will shoot it, goes off the stick and bounce back into where the corner. After it goes Seguin, back toward the line. Bischel shoots, it grazed off the right shoulder. Hellebuck grabbed again by Iafallo and flipped out toward the line, not out, but Winnipeg will follow off. And sauntering back out towards center ice on the near side is Fleury. He'll send it down to alleviate some pressure inside that Dallas end. Winnipeg will head off on a line change.
Out of the pushback shift you expect from the Dallas Stars, who clearly weren't going to be happy with how Winnipeg had really turned the table on them in terms of shots on goal and momentum in this game. And coming out of that timeout, I'm sure DeBoer had some words for his club now that they had killed off that penalty despite all of Winnipeg's pressure.
Offside against the Stars at the Jets line. 2:43 remaining in the first period. No score. Shots on goal 11-9 for Dallas. So Winnipeg has closed the gap on that. Johnston will take the draw against Lowry. Johnston wins it. Back toward his own line for Labushkin. Long cross-ice pass off a stick. Slides inside that Winnipeg end. Hellebuck helped it around for Miller. Out towards center ice. And off a stick there, picked up by Appleton. Swings inside the zone, turns and fires, and went off a stick. One of the challenging defensemen in Harley, and up and over the back glass, and out of play goes.
Like Appleton just trying to look to send something towards the net. He had Adam Lowry trying to catch up on that rush. So when Appleton gained the offensive zone, he had to delay a little bit to give Lowry a little bit of time to get into a net front position. By that time, the Dallas D had kind of closed in on him and not really allowing much of a clean shot toward the net, knowing full well that Lowry's going full tilt.
Face off to the left. of Ottinger. Winnipeg wins the draw. Darting around into where the corner. Connor shoots off a stick, and that vacates the premises as well of the ice surface. Into the meshing, falls back down. We'll do it again.
Winnipeg's been pretty good in the faceoffs so far. I mean, it was a kind of a constant theme in the St. Louis series where they would, start to close the gap on faceoffs later on in the game, but St. Louis would have a real early edge. Winnipeg at 55-45, and they've had some great chances because of it.
Connor out in front right off the faceoff, and a great glove save made by Ottinger. Puck found Kyle Connor with 4 goals in this playoffs already. Back out towards center ice. Across the line, Scheifele shoots. Stick save made as he grazed over toward the far side by Ottinger. Grabbed again by Radnan out towards center ice for Rope Hansen across the line. Pushed it back in behind the net. After goes Connor. He's pushed off the puck. Connor wearing the A tonight in the absence of Josh Morrissey. Out towards center ice. 3-on-2 developing far side. Connor and across the line for Scheifele near center. Shooting! And off the rush, it's kicked away by Ottinger. Excellent chance for Winnipeg with some speed in that top line. Plungered back inside that Winnipeg end, not enough for icing. 1:30 remaining, 90 seconds to go in the first period, no score. Winnipeg and a long lead pass to the far side for Nemesnikov. Back inside that Dallas end. After it goes Cole Perfetti, pulled it off the wall. Taken off the puck though here by Marchment. Marchment will backhand it, rink wide on the far side. Swatted back inside that Winnipeg end by Johnston. Grabbed by Luke Shen. Far side for Nemesnikov. Rink wide to the near side to catch up to the pocket. Center ice is Miller. He'll snap it inside the zone. 1:05 remaining in the opening period. Rimmed around to the far side. And Shen got caught 2-on-1 back the other way. Johnston moving in, shoots. And it's stopped by Hellebuck. Got a shoulder on it. Took the angle away on Wyatt Johnston. Winnipeg back out towards center ice as this one is opened up. Bishop will give Ehlers a cross check as he dumped the puck in from center. Heads off on a line change. Petrovic now at center ice. He'll move it ahead off the stick of Ben. Goes to the back wall of the Winnipeg end. Picked off there by DeMello up along the wing now for Appleton into where the middle broken off back the other way. Duchesne floats inside that Winnipeg end. Duchesne runner move. Stops up into where the corner. Pushed against the boards, and there will be a hard charging Jamie Benn and Mason Appleton back toward the Winnipeg net. Somebody knocked the net off its pegs. We'll get a stoppage of play.
You think that top line likes being reunited? They only had a little bit of time together in that St. Louis series in Game 5 before Mark Scheifele left the game. So for them to be able to be reunited, I mean, it looks like the power play's got that great pace to it. And then also at 5-on-5, just finding each other through seams. I thought Scheifele was going to go back to Neil Pionk, who had joined this rush, but Mark Scheifele knew he could get that pass through the seam to Gabriel Velarde for an even better chance, and Ottinger had to be real good there.
And Velarde just dragged the foot, delayed a little, puck found him, and he snapped it toward Ottinger, who made a fine save on that. Far side, sneaking inside the zone was Appleton. Lost the puck. Dumped back out towards center ice. Winnipeg will try to send it right back in, and CC got the stick up in the face of Niederreiter, and there's going to be a call. And then a slash by Radnan on the back of the leg of Neil Pionk, and he'll be escorted by one of the linesmen over toward the bench. We'll see if there's an extra 2 on that.
It's a pretty good whack that Neil Pionk received from
Dallas 44, minor penalty, high sticking.
High sticking call on Cody Ceci. So late in this first period, Winnipeg, with only 5 seconds remaining in it, will get their second power play of the hockey game. And the power play, of course, is the Prairie Battery power play. Your one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born and Canadian-owned. PrairieBattery.ca.
As we saw in Game 7, I mean, 5 seconds is an eternity. They've even put more time up at 7.6 seconds that they've added on. And basically, Niederreiter just kind of, as this play is coming toward the blue line, the puck is on its way there and kind of like a stretch pass. And Niederreiter trying to get him inside position. He and CC come together, and CC actually touches the puck, but then his stick comes all the way up.
Back with the line, quick shot, Pionk shoots. And the stop made by Ottinger, and then up in the air it goes to the near side, settled down by Beck. Horn sound, staying 20 minutes of hockey. And the first period of Game 1 of Round 2 between Winnipeg and Dallas comes to a conclusion. No score.
Exciting start to the series, absolutely. I mean, Dallas, if you're on the road team in this building like they are, they're going to really like the opening probably 6 or 7 minutes where they had the first 9 shots of the hockey game. But since then, Winnipeg outshoots them 13-3. A big power play in there. But even at 5-on-5, I thought as the period went on, Winnipeg certainly got to their game. You could see the familiarity between all the lines, the reads that they're able to make off of each other. But both goaltenders standing strong at either end, kind of like we anticipated.
No scoring, so no goals to report. A couple of penalties for Dallas. Mason Marchment for hooking. Winnipeg did not score on that. That came at 13:30. And then Cody Ceci at 19:52 unofficially takes the second power play opportunity for Winnipeg and the second minor for Dallas. So the Jets officially 0 for 1 with the man advantage, but they'll carry over 1 minute and 53 seconds from the end of the first to the beginning of the second and have a fresh flood with which to work. So we'll see what happens on their second man advantage, but officially they are 0 for 1. No power plays for Dallas in that first period, and as Mitchell mentioned, Winnipeg coming back and outshooting Dallas in that first period 13-12. It was quite the disparity in the first 5 to 8 minutes in that first period, but Winnipeg really rallied and got comfortable, as we mentioned as well. Downstairs to Vladislav Nemesnikov. Thanks a lot for taking the time, and would you agree you guys got more comfortable as that period went along?
Yeah, I thought our start wasn't great. We got outshot there, I think 9-0. So, but as the second half of the period went, we got better. We did the right things, and right back in the game.
Vladdy, I'm curious because that 9-0 shot disparity that you talked about was kind of coinciding with the first time out on the ice. Is anything said on the bench there, or is it just a matter of everybody knows that it's just a matter of getting back to the game that you guys are a little bit more accustomed to playing?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident in this group. We knew they were going to come out strong, and they did, but we weathered the storm, and then now we go and now we put on pressure on them.
Vladdy, you guys can all play with each other, but what's it like to have the regularity of familiar faces on everybody's line once again, with Mark Scheifele back in the lineup, Ehlers back, and Velarde back?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, they're world-class players, they're fun to play with, and we're happy to have them back, and hopefully we can get going here in this period.
Okay, real quick, your thoughts on what you want to do, improved variety, of course, for the second and third.
Keep grinding. I think, as the period went on, we did the right things. We got scoring chances, off the rush and off the forecheck, so we just got to keep doing that.
Thanks very much for your time. Good luck in the second and third.
Thank you.
Vladislav Nemesnikov joining us from downstairs, and certainly his team did get better as that period went along, but no scoring. So, at the end of one, Winnipeg nothing and Dallas nothing. Second opportunity for Winnipeg coming up on the power play to begin the second period. But before we get there, the first intermission report is coming up next with Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gilroy. Chuck has mentioned no score after one here in downtown Winnipeg. You're listening to Play Now Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB. Lowry moving in, shoot.
Jets fans, it's your chance to win big all night long with our playoff 50-50 raffle. Get your tickets now for a shot at multiple cash prizes during the game, ranging from $1,000 to $25,000. Plus, one lucky winner will take home 50% of the total sales at the end of the series. Don't miss out. Text JETS to 20450 for your chance to win. That's JETS to 20450.
Take control of your health today with the Manitoba Physiotherapy Association. Physiotherapists are skilled at treating a variety of conditions, including but not limited to muscle and joint pain, neurological disorders, vestibular disorders, pelvic floor disorders, and a variety of chronic health conditions. In Manitoba, you don't need a doctor's referral to see a physiotherapist in a private clinic. Learn how the Manitoba Physiotherapy Association can help you take control of your health. Click Find a Physio at mbphysio.org.
The job gets done at St. Andrews Parts and Power. The savings on Coyote subcompact tractors are big, big, big. Brad has stock of Coyote CS Series 2220 and CS 2520 tractors. Plus, get 2.99% for 72 months, a free loader, and $1,000 off. Get your Coyote subcompact tractor at St. Andrews Parts and Power, where you'll say, that guy helped me.
And I can help you too at St. Andrews Parts and Power.
You are locked and loaded to Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
Welcome back to Canada Life Center, where there is no score after 20 minutes of play in Game 1 between the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. I'm Kelly Moore, along with the coach, Dwayne Gilavoychuk, and Jets fans. It is your chance to win big all night long with the playoff 50-50 raffle. Multiple cash prizes during the game, up to $25,000. Plus, one lucky winner will take home 50% of the total sales at the end of this series. Text Jets to 20450 for your chance to win. Well, Coach, into the first timeout, the shots were 6-0 Dallas. The shot attempts were 14-0 Dallas. But no harm, no foul really for the Winnipeg Jets at that point as they found their game, certainly as the period went on.
Yeah, their goaltender had to be good for them. There were a couple shots that, were a little heavy for him that he had to work for. But a majority of those shots were from the outside. There was, a couple barrages where there was, a second and third chance that Dallas has seemed to jump to those loose pucks a little bit quicker than Winnipeg did. There was some puck management I think Winnipeg will want to clean up. But as that period went along, Connor Hellebuyck was given enough to the Winnipeg Jets to get their legs underneath them and started skating, and you could see how things started to turn around for the Jets.
Yeah, and certainly over the back half of the period, you can look at all the great chances. The best one, I guess, is off that draw. The second power play unit gets about 7 seconds of the mop-up duty, but they almost scored off it. That shot by Miller deflected, went right off the crossbar.
Yeah, it's simple. The first power play unit was out there for a good portion of it because you could tell they were kind of feeling it a little bit. They had some good chances. They had some rotations. They just wanted to have that extra little look. But the second unit comes out, they win the face-off, they go D to D. And Miller's shot's just a simple little shot. He just wants to get it on net. He knows there's going to be traffic there. He also knows he doesn't have a lot of time to waste because the penalty's running out. And it was just a simple little shot, lots of havoc in front of the net, and the Jets almost put it in.
You talked about puck management in the pregame show, and as one of your keys to the game, you've got that early chance. Perfetti and Ehlers try to, I think, be a little too cute, and Dallas almost made them pay for it. And then I think it was Velarde and Connor from deep in the Dallas zone. Don't connect tape to the pass. Ehlers tries to pass through the seam. It might have worked against St. Louis, but Dallas is too disciplined in their structure.
Yeah, they are. There you can just see from up top here. They love having 5 in the picture. They really condense the middle of the ice. They make you play from the outside. And anytime you're going to turn a puck over offensively, you've got to make sure that there's, you make eye contact or you're putting it on the tape, because if you don't, Dallas is going to take that puck and they're going to, transition it very quickly towards your net. They love to stretch out the ice, get through the neutral zone quick, and then they come in numbers. And Winnipeg was lucky because there was some, puck management, this kind of disconnect that Dallas really turned the other way quickly.
Yeah, I had Winnipeg for about 4 grade A's in that first period. I don't really know that I had Dallas for any. Connor Hellebuyck looked really steady, really in control of the shots that he had to face, but there was nothing there, at least to my eyeballs, Dwayne, that I would categorize as a dangerous opportunity.
No, he had to make some saves in tight. This a couple times. Jamie Benn there kind of, whacked at him a little bit there where he had to stand tall, but he had control of the puck. Rantanen had one from the side there a little bit, but there was nothing that was grade A, nothing that he couldn't handle or had to, dive in a desperation to make that second save or couldn't control the first rebound.
Yeah, and let's just go back to the power play. Because you said they were feeling it, and they were. There was great puck movement. When you see Velarde have the chance to do the drop-back move, you know that power play is operating with that kind of confidence that made it number 1 throughout much of the season.
Well, and they did a really good job. They tried some plays from up top, and they really drew Dallas's PK up top. There's a couple times where Dallas had 3 people up top above the hash marks, and you never really want to get caught that high out. They went down to Velarde the one chance. He had a lot of time. Ehlers was able to step off from the goal line and attack the goal line. It's just going to be interesting to see if they can adjust to it. But it's something, give credit to the Winnipeg Jets coaching staff. It was something they noticed in their pre-scout. It's just, the only thing they would have wanted to do is score a goal there, but they got a lot of momentum changing in that period from that power play.
Yeah, with those net drives, they're available. So we'll see if the Jets pursue that with this power play that's coming up on the high sticking penalty to Cody Ceci. At the other end of the ice, I thought the Dallas Stars had a couple of extended ozone shifts as a result of their forecheck. But and I don't know, maybe it's just because we were so used to the aggressiveness of St. Louis. It seemed a little passive at times, though. What did you see?
It did. There was a number of times it almost looked like the Winnipeg Jet D or the low support for it was waiting to get hit. He was just so used for 7 games to get hit once he moved the puck. And Dallas is still physical, but they're not going to go out of their way to finish a check on the forecheck or in a puck battle. They're going to stop and retreat back through the middle of the ice. They're so disciplined in their structure coming back towards their net. So Winnipeg started to take advantage of it where they started moving pucks and then skating right away. They were able to get out of the piles instead of getting caught on the wall where they had to battle, get up, or battle through another body. So it's a little bit different series already for Winnipeg, and it's going to be interesting to see if the Pionks and some of their D can get going where we've seen the weak side D start jumping a couple times.
Yeah, Neil Pionk led the Jets in time on ice with 8 minutes and 9 seconds. I thought it might be Harley, but it was Essa Lindell, 8 minutes and 25 seconds for the Dallas Stars. And really nothing stands out except for this one. 9 block shots for the Winnipeg Jets in that first period, just 2 for the Dallas Stars. The Jets had 13 shots and 16 attempts, so almost 100% of their shots managed to get through to Jake Ottinger. Did you see where Dallas was missing getting in the way in shooting lanes?
Dallas, kind of collapses so down tight below, like almost to hash marks, that the Winnipeg's D were able to get to the middle of the ice a little bit more compared to what we've seen against St. Louis. Because they're in the middle of the ice, they have more of an option to kind of, find a lane. Because if you're on the sidewall outside the dots, you really only have one lane to the net. Winnipeg's D were able to get to the middle of the ice a little bit quicker and have some shots on net.
Winnipeg wins 14 of 25 face-offs, 14 and 11. Mark Scheifele winning 6 of 9. So, Coach, as we look ahead to the second period, obviously, the Jets will have almost a full power play to work with. It's a nice way to get your offensive mojo going, I guess, for want of a better term.
Just to get the momentum, get those offensive guys, get some chances. 100% they would want to try and score a goal right away. But if they could just establish that momentum and have a good, kind of minute to minute and a half start to the period. But the most important thing, the coaches will be thinking this, is that next shift after that power play has got to be key. So I think that's probably going to be the Adam Lowry line or line to come out to just make sure, because Dallas is going to push after that power play.
All right, a reminder, we won't have the coach joining us during the second intermission because NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman will be our guest in between periods, but we will talk to you on the post-game show.
Well, I'm glad to be back.
It's not such a bad thing getting replaced by the Commissioner of the National Hockey League. No score after 20 minutes of play. We will have a scoreboard update next here on the First Intermission Report on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Whether it's Blue Bombers, to your point about having a Canadian quarterback in the building, and we just want to temper expectations before anointing that this is the future of the organization at this point.
Jets.
Deflected in front by the captain, Adam Lowry. Jets win! Jets win! In double overtime tonight!
Moose, Valor FC, Goldeye, Seabears, Westman Bisons, Junior Hockey, Curling, High School. We have the Winnipeg sports scene covered. Live and 25 after the hour on CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Winnipeg, are you whiteout ready? Choose Hometown Pride. Choose 1919. Brewed by Little Brown Jug, Manitoba's flagship beer since 2016. Here's to building something memorable.
Rule the outdoors with Makita outdoor power equipment available at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. Right now and only while the Jets are in the playoffs, spend a minimum of $500 on Makita products and receive a free Makita cordless radio worth $209. Plus, get a 4-amp battery at a special discounted price. Makita lawnmowers, line trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws are in stock too.
Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
Winnipeg Jets exclusive coverage continues on 680 CJOB and CJKR 97.5 FM Power 97. The official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
No score here between the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars after 20 minutes of play. One other game in the Stanley Cup playoff tournament. That saw the Toronto Maple Leafs edge the Florida Panthers 4-3 to take a 2-0 lead. Mitch Marner getting the game-winning goal just before the 6-minute mark of the third period. NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder are giving it to the Denver Nuggets tonight, 86-56. That is just about at halftime. The New York Knicks taking a 2-0 lead over the Boston Celtics with a 91-90 decision, and no score between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Angels out in Anaheim. They're now in the top of the fifth inning. Waiting on the first goal. Jets will have a power play for 1 minute and 52 seconds to see if they can snap this scoreless tie. When Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton return next with your play-by-play on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Boston Pizza is Canada's go-to place for playoffs. So this year, we're doing more than just hoping a Canadian team wins it all. We're manifesting it. We're planning the parade. We even got a bus. And we've got the sports bar dialed in, with ice-cold draft beer and an elite playoff menu. Like the guy in the movie said, kind of.
If we plan it, we will win.
So when it's game day, post up early at BP and cheer for the Holy Grail to come home.
When the game really counts, you want to watch it on the big screen with great food and cheering fans. That's why Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs are Winnipeg's favorite destinations for playoff hockey. Want to experience a game in person? Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs are giving away tickets to the next home game. Plus, enjoy great food and beverage specials. Tavern United and Garbanzo Sports Pubs. Manitoba owned, Manitoba grown, and Manitoba proud. Can-Ed Inns thanks you for supporting local. Proudly a part of your community since 1975. Enjoy responsibly.
When your truck breaks down, do you take it to just any shop or do you take it to the best shop in town? So when it comes to your why wouldn't you go to the top-rated guy? Go see Dr. J, one of the top-rated doctors on RateMD. So if your needs help rising to the occasion, bring him to one of the best.
Dr. J of Winnipeg Clinic offers new and innovative treatment options for erectile dysfunction. Book your confidential visit at winnipegclinic.com.
The official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
Just about ready for the start of the second period. Winnipeg will start this second with 1:53 with which to work on a penalty to Cody Ceci for slashing. That happened at 19:52, so Winnipeg got a few seconds tick off as the expiration of that first period took place. Long change for both teams. Jets on that Prairie Battery power play for the second time tonight. Yeah, they had a real good finish to the end of that first period, Mitchell.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of face-offs and, Winnipeg's first power play. It generated a couple of opportunities, and even late with the 7 seconds they had to work with late in the first period, they were still able to get a Neil Pionk blast because they won the face-off. So obviously ideal for Winnipeg to be starting with the puck, especially on the power play.
Underway in this second period. Dallas wins the draw, and they'll send it down inside that Winnipeg end. Hellebuck will stop that. Brings off his stick for Kyle Connor into toward the corner for Neil Pionk. Sways away from some forechecking. Passed it back off on the far side for Connor. Darts through that neutral ice, handed off for Shifley, far side for Ehlers, down into toward the corner, trying to get it back out in front. Went off a stick. Harley goes after it, taking off his stick. Moved up along the board, stopped there by Winnipeg, back toward the line for Neil Pionk. Into toward the slot for Ehlers. He turned it over. And out toward his own line is Harley, and Thomas Harley will wrist it all the way down the ice.
Winnipeg on the forecheck does a good job of taking away the options for Thomas Harley, so he's not really exactly sure where he needs to go with the puck, and that pressure by Winnipeg allows them to force a turnover and keep the puck in. Ultimately, Ehlers turns it back over.
Velarde will push it inside the zone. Back toward the line on the far side for Ehlers. Ehlers a wrister toward the net, stopped by Ottinger. First touch is Connor in toward the corner, twisting and turning back toward the line for Neil Pionk. Walks the line, far side for Ehlers, catches that, put it down low for Scheifele, back in behind the net. Scheifele battling there against Harley. Got a little bit of help from Velarde. Velarde will curl off the boards, put it back toward the line. Kyle Connor coming right down Main Street, shoots. More of a pass off the stick of Lindell into toward the corner. And then out toward the line it's sent. Kyle Connor trying to hold the line. Scheifele on the far side, going after it. Neil Pionk as well, and it falls back out towards center ice. Here comes Scheifele, carves his way inside the zone for Ehlers. He will scoot into where the corner, put it back with the line for Connor. Up top, slap shot by Miller, blocked. A 2-on-1 back the other way for Dallas. And a good defensive play by Miller to knock the puck away. He leads the attack. Back across the line to the near side for Connor. Connor into where the corner. He'll pull up and put it back with the line for Miller. Miller will dust it off, back for Connor to the near side hash. 3 seconds to go on the power play. Shoots. Stopped by Ottinger and a ricochet off the stick of the goaltender for Dallas and back out towards center ice. Stars are back to full strength. Jets are 0 for 2 with the man advantage.
What a sequence for Colin Miller there. It looked like he was going to be stuck in a 2-on-1, and then he just pressured at the perfect time to break up a pass and then started the play right back the other way.
Sandberg behind his own net to the near side for Miller. Cross-ice pass for Iafallo. He'll stop up at center ice, and now a couple of hard strides inside that Dallas end. Trying to move it along the boards. Stopped there by Duchesne. Duchesne out towards center ice for Jamie Benn. He avoids a stick lift there and secures it with one hand down inside that Winnipeg end. Winnipeg will go back after it. Came back into where their high slot. Tapped away there by Perfetti. Far side, Iafallo through the neutral ice. He'll deposit it down inside that Dallas end and then bump his man Bischel in along the back wall. Dallas will flush it back out towards center ice. Niederreiter will come there to help out. He gets in between one of the Dallas Stars and his own goal, and then it came to the near side. DeMello broke his stick, and he wisely kicked it over to the far side, dropping the stick but wanting to maintain possession. Got it outside his own zone. Here's Rantanen across the line. Put it back with the line. Shot came in, blocked by Lowry. Charges after the loose puck to the near side for Appleton. Appleton back along the boards by Petrovic. He got stumbled into where the corner there. Appleton goes back after it. Got back up against Petrovic. Petrovic to the near side for Granlund. Granlund cross-ice pass now for Rope Hintz. Too far for him. Sliding in front of him is Fleury. Hayden Fleury, long lead pass for Appleton across the line. Now for Niederreiter moving in. Backhand, he scores! Niederreiter in his 100th postseason game career puts a backhand past Ottinger for his third game of the postseason. And Winnipeg is up and running. They lead at 1-0 here in game one.
Yeah, just really well done in transition by the Winnipeg Jets here. A long stretch pass to Mason Appleton, who had 6 assists in that first round series against the St. Louis Blues, and he puts this little backhand right into a spot where Nino Niederreiter could skate into it. And still a high skill play by Niederreiter to get it past the stick side of Jake Ottinger and inside the far post.
Even strength goal, Niederreiter from Appleton at 3:30. That's the time of it. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. So Winnipeg will get on the board first, and here they come looking for more. Stomping inside the zone. Barron back in behind that Dallas net. Barron back to where the line. Slap shot by Shen. Deflected net front by Tatum. That just been wide. Off the boards and out towards center ice. Marchman inside the zone for Wyatt Johnson. Shoots and off a stick of a challenging Jet. And Colin Miller up and over the back glass, and out of play it goes. So Niederreiter is third from Appleton. Should be a second assist on that pass out of the side, outside of the Winnipeg Jets zone. And 3:30, and again, time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca.
Hayden Fleury also picking up an assist on that play. So a good start for Winnipeg in this second period.
Back to where the line held on the far side. Ceci slap shot stopped in front. Ceci with it again. He'll hold the line for Lindell. Wrister toward the net. Stopped by Hellebuck on a deflection. Snatched now by Perfetti. Wheels out towards center ice. 3-on-2 to the near side. Nemestikov. Good defensive play by Lindell. And back out towards center ice it goes. Push back inside that Dallas end by the Jets. Lindell far side for CC. Thrust up along the boards and bounding down inside that Winnipeg end it goes. Neil Pionk arcs off the boards out towards center ice. Nemestikov. Lightly tapped back inside that Dallas end. Dallas will snap it off the boards back inside the Winnipeg end. Out towards center ice. It's pushed again there by Neil Pionk. Now Granlund arcs off the boards at center ice. On to the far side. Winnipeg will play it to the near side. And Sandberg now for Perfetti. Far side for Ehlers. Skewers at it and pokes it down inside of that Dallas end. We welcome you back, by the way, to the broadcast booth. Paul Evans, Mitchell Klin with you for Namath Diamonds, your diamond engagement ring. See Namath Diamonds, a family tradition of excellence in Southdale Square. Back out in front. Snatched away there by Mark Scheifele. After the puck, a little bit of help. Good stick lift there by Velarde. And Winnipeg will trudge out of their own zone. Velarde down the near side boards to center ice. He'll knock it in. After Labushkin, he takes a body check from Connor. It's rolled around to the near side. And sent back out and expressed by Dallas, slightly back inside that Winnipeg end. Fleury, lead pass, far side Connor. Turns the stick and redirects it down inside of that Dallas end once again. Labushkin into the middle for Steele. Tried to pitchfork it ahead, lost the puck. Banged along the boards with one hand by Connor. He's at the end of his shift. Winnipeg will exit stage left and turn toward their bench for a line change.
Adam Lowry briefly left the Winnipeg Jets bench. Don't know if it was equipment or what it is, but he's on the ice now.
Winnipeg back on the retrieve inside their own zone. Niederreiter flew it up along into the middle. Stop there. Lowry brought that shot that came off of Petrovic. Now towards center ice it goes. Oscar Beck will send it back inside the Winnipeg end. Charging after it. Luke Schenn rolled it around to the near side. Appleton back deep inside his own zone. He takes a body check there to pull it off the wall and seek the shelter behind his own net is Colin Miller. Miller now weaves his way out in front of his own net. Passed it off for his deep partner in Luke Schenn. He moved it ahead into the middle for Niederreiter. Redirected down inside of that Dallas end. Spun around with a backhand stop by Niederreiter into the corner again. Digging after it, Lee and Bischel. Couple of cross checks. Some hacking going on. Some saber rattling going on. They're still digging at it. Morgan Barron is there. A few more cross checks by Bischel. He falls down. Winnipeg trying to dig at it. Iafallo is there as well. Coming away with a puck is Barron pushed against the boards. Iafallo trying to escape. Robertson put it back toward the line. Held there by Neil Pionk. Nice pass by Sandberg. Pionk shooting. And he put it wide. Came off the back wall. Alexander Petrovic will scoot out towards center ice and flip it down inside the Winnipeg end. It missed the Jets net. And the Jets will paddle it around to the far side. Sandberg sends it all the way down off the stick of CC. Icing washed out. Under 13 minutes remaining. Good body check there by Tanev on the forecheck. Under 13 minutes remaining in the second period. 1-0 Winnipeg. Good check by Barron on the far side. It tumbles around on the near side. Kept at the right side point. And true on the line by Pionk. Rolled it around to the far side. Lead pass for Dallas. Too far for Robertson. And icing will be washed out. Swinging back inside his own zone is DeMello. He'll play it for Sandberg. Nifty pass off the boards for Nemestikov. Got crunched along the boards just inside that zone, but now it's stolen at center ice. Nemestikov just couldn't get outside the Dallas zone when Perfetti carried it right back in offside. 12:13 remaining in this second period. The score, Winnipeg 1, Dallas nothing. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Grab your jersey. Grab your generic lager. Impressively standard beer for impressively intense moments. Brewed in Winnipeg by Little Brown Jug. Generic, the most domestic choice.
If it sounds too good to be true, well, you know the rest. But I get it. Some deals sound tempting, like this guy.
These prices are insane! The boss has lost his mind!
When it comes to your home's heating system, do you really want to do business with a company that resorts to gimmicks like this? You could call them and see what they are really offering, and then give Mr. Furnace a call. In fact, they encourage you to call around and get quotes first, and then call Mr. Furnace. You'll see why. Give it a try. Call 204-832-6243.
You're a do-it-yourselfer, and we're here to help. Hi, I'm Mel Dewick from Windeck. We're known for building beautiful top-of-the-line, low-maintenance decks. But many people don't know Windeck also supplies products for the do-it-yourselfer. And I guarantee they are the finest, safest, most proven products on the market, like Wolf PVC decking, Inlight lighting, and Star aluminum railings. So if you have a deck project that you'd like to tackle yourself, use the products the pros use from Windeck. And do it once, do it right.
It's like being right on the glass. Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
12:13 remaining in this second period. 1-0 Winnipeg. Niederreiter is third from Appleton and Fleury at 3:30. And this neutralized face-off in this second period for a Cambrian Credit Union looking for a mortgage. Get peace of mind and flexibility with the new Best of Both Worlds mortgage. Visit Cambrian.mb.ca. A problem with the ice, Mitchell.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of repairs, just about, I would say, 11 feet from the Winnipeg Jets bench towards that first face-off dot in neutral zone, but it looks like they've got it all squared away.
Winnipeg will win the draw. Back to live action. Lightly sent down and rolled around into the corner by Fleury. Rim to the near side, and Ben will flush it back out towards center ice. Sent right back on top of Ottinger by DeMello. Racing to pick up that rebound. Ehlers back toward the line. Winnipeg, DeMello shooting. Deflected net front by Perfetti. Far side, just put it wide. Smacked around the boards to the near side. Grabbed by Dallas out toward center ice. And Jamie Benn pushed off the puck. And Winnipeg will throw it right back in. Perfetti sidesteps the check. Ottinger will play it into the corner for Ceci. Winnipeg on a line change. Lowry back out there. He will hit Ceci and then vacate the zone as Winnipeg will throw it right back in. Lindell, long lead pass out towards center ice for Sam Steele. He'll turn it north. He weaves his way inside that Winnipeg end to the near side corner, puts on the brakes. Steele still with the puck, cross ice, far side, slap shot, stop, rebound, they score. From his bumper, Mikko Rantanen. Excellent drive toward the net by Steele, put on the brakes, far side, slap shot. Hellebuck got a piece of it, and Rantanen was going down and swatted it in with one hand, and we're tied at 1.
Yeah, Sam Steele with just a stop up on the entry, and then he tries to go cross ice to Dodonov. It goes off of a stick, which buys Hellebuck another split second to get across. He does, but instead of hitting him in the chest, it kind of hits him in the arm, and it ends up dribbling behind him into the crease. And Mikko Rantanen, as he's getting taken down in that slot, just able to get a stick on it around Dylan Sandberg and tuck it in.
So Rantanen will get the goal, and for Mikko, it's a 4-game point-scoring streak, and he has goals in 4 straight now. And for Mikko Rantanen, his 6th of the postseason from Dodonov and Steele at 8:43 to tie it at 1. And the time of the goal for JS Furniture, visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. Out towards center ice. Dumped right back in by the Stars. Back in behind his own net is Hellebuck. He just about gave it away, and at the side of the net. Robertson tried to push it back out in front after stealing the puck. He had Miller to contend with as well, and Hellebuck dives out and will stop that from getting centered and hangs on for a whistle. 10:50 remaining in this second period. We're tied at 1. Winnipeg Jets hockey also brought to you in part by Mid-Canada Fasters, San Lucia Pizza, and Mr. Furnace.
Hellebuck having to play a little bit of defense there. He goes to just to try to send the puck back up the same way that it came, and Robertson just knocks it down and sends it out in front, but Hellebuck on his way to the front of the net puts that goal stick down and gets it right in that passing lane. No danger.
Back toward the line. Pushkin shoots. That went wide. Came off the back wall out in front. Swatted back toward the line. Held by Harley. Pass into the middle. Broken up off a deflection there from Hintz. And out towards center ice. Niederreiter, the goal scorer near side for Appleton across the line. Appleton shoots, and it's off the stick of Harley out to challenge. Up and over the back glass, and out of play it goes. 10:32 remaining in the second period, tied at 1.
And this Lowry line has looked good throughout this contest. You know, Vlad Domestikov saying after the first intermission just how nice it is to kind of be back to a little bit of normality, if you will, with the lines. Like we said in the pregame, first time since March 23rd that this group of 12 forwards has been able to be put together just because of the injuries that Winnipeg suffered near the end of the regular season.
Almost halfway through this hockey game tonight, tied at 1. Shipley is Wade. Velarde comes in. We do it to the left of Ottinger. And Duchesne wins it cleanly back into where the corner. Lindell rolled it around the far side. Kyle Connor will try to pinch off Ceci. Come away with a puck. Tapped it back in behind for Shifley. Shifley tried to roll it. No look out in front from Velarde. Broken up, and back come the Stars. Duchesne through the neutralized near side. Seguin shoots. Stop, rebound. And Ben was there, but it was poked off his stick or almost toward it. Winnipeg will start back. Neil Pionk across the line from Velarde. Shoots from a long way out. Kicked away by Onger. Touched again by Dallas. There's going to be a penalty coming up against Jamie Benn, as he had Mark Shifley on the backtrack, picking up his man back inside his own zone, and I think he committed a violation in doing so.
Dallas penalty number 14, 2 minutes hooking.
I believe it was just as that puck was getting to the net. It wasn't in the immediate area, but it was off the back post. That Ben kind of wrapped up Mark Shifley and kind of eliminated him as an option. Got that stick right around the waist and under the arm of Shifley to keep that stick from getting down on the ice and presenting a target.
Jets are on another Prairie Battery power play. Your one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born and Canadian-owned. PrairieBattery.ca. Winnipeg 0 for 2 at the man advantage. They're on their third tonight. The Stars have taken all 3 minors. Face off to the right of Onger. Winnipeg has the second power play unit out there. Swain into where the corner. Lindell knocked it around to the near side. Hintz goes after it. Darts there. Finds the puck and will dump it the distance. Colin Miller out of his own zone slowly. Onto the far side, right on the tape, Nemestikov. He will slide down along the boards into where the corner stop up. Played now for Perfetti. Spins it around back toward the line for Niederreiter. Pulled off the wall. Niederreiter. High slot now. Iafallo. Far side for Miller. Along the boards for Nemestikov. Into where the corner stops up. Back toward the line for Miller. Tapped along the boards again. Nemestikov back for Miller. Too many passes, and it went between the legs of Miller and out towards center ice. Miller will pick it up again. Miller swiftly through that neutral ice. Will dump it in. Played around back in behind the net. There is Iafallo. Rims it around back to the near side. After to pull it off the wall, Perfetti down into where the corner for Iafallo will exchange at the hash with Perfetti. Back up top for Miller. Back to the near side, Perfetti. Perfetti looking. Perfetti still with the puck. Back to where the line for Miller. Moves in. Wrist shot. Stopped by Onger as he gloves that down out of the air and will hang on for a whistle. Tied at 1, second period, just under 9 minutes remaining in this frame. 51 seconds still to go. Give the penalty to the captain of the Stars, Jamie Benn.
And we talked about the injuries to the Jets forwards that kind of prevented that group of 12 from playing together, but it kind of has residual effects when it comes to the power play, right? You know, Cole Perfetti spent the entire St. Louis Blues series on that top unit, so you had a number of guys that are a little bit out of position.
Back toward the line, up top. Slap shot by Connor. That went off the stick of Oscar Beck, up and over the back glass into the meshing, back onto the ice surface. So Winnipeg will get a chance again. 46 seconds remaining. And the penalty to Ben will do it to the left this time of Onger. Shots on goal, 18-15 for Winnipeg. We're tied at 1. Niederreiter is third. Randon is sixth for the two teams, respectively, both in this second period. Shifley will take the draw against Steele. Scrambled face-off. Swatted over to the far side. Race for the puck. Oscar Beck can't get it out. Winnipeg will hold the line. Nice job up top. Neil Pionk. He's hurriedly forced to play the puck on the far side. Gave it away to Beck. Beck will flush it back out towards center ice. Shifley's pass rink wide. Knocked away by one of the Stars. And then back to the near side is Neil Pionk. And he will curl back inside his own zone and slow things down. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Time for one last rush for Winnipeg. Here they come, Velarde across the line. Velarde turned over the puck. Back toward the line. Neil Pionk will stuff it into where the corner. Dashing after it is Connor. Pulled it away from the wall. And then got it back toward the line on the far side for Ehlers. Up top for Pionk. To the near side, Connor. Connor moves in. Connor back out in front. Velarde shoot. And it's stopped by Onger. Velarde fan on the first one. The second one, Onger got the left toe on it. Dump back out towards center ice. Pionk will slap it back in. That goes off a stick. Over the glass, into the seats for a souvenir tonight. 7:56 remaining in this second period. Tied at 1. Timeout on the ice. We'll do the same on your radio. Dallas back to full strength. Jets are 0 for 3 with a man advantage upon our return. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Jets fans, playoff hockey is back, and there's nothing bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable history-making moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Experience the Whiteout inside Canada Life Center, live and in person. Get access to playoff packages and pre-sales for round 2 and beyond by visiting winnipegjets.com/memberships today. That's winnipegjets.com/memberships.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Innovation, best in class, a vehicle that handles any curve in the road, navigates the bend with ease, and leads on the straightaway. Men's Health Clinic Manitoba offers evidence-based curvature treatments, new non-invasive and virtually painless male dysfunction treatments, minimally invasive prostate treatments, men's aesthetics and genital refinement surgery, no scalpel vasectomies, and more. It feels good to drive with confidence, authority, and maximum satisfaction.
Trust the experts at the only specialist-run men's clinic. Visit mhclinic.ca.
The official sports betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey.
Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you in part by St. Andrews Parts and Power, Wilf's Eli Ford, and Windeck. Tied at 1. Just under 8 minutes remaining in this second period. Jets win the draw at center ice. Flopped out inside of that Dallas end by Sandberg. Labushkin will roll it around to the near side, and Dallas is out in toward the slot. Rope hits. Will get it out with a backhand towards center ice and no further. Neil Pionk steps up and drives it right back in. Tumbled off the back wall, settled down by Niederreiter, played back in behind the net, stolen there by Harley, rolled it around softly inside his own zone, bounced back out towards center ice, stopped again by Pionk, he'll drive it right back in. Swain after it is Lowry, chopped it around to the near side, nobody home for Winnipeg. Up along the boards now for Granlund. Granlund into where the middle for Hintz, but way offside is Rantanen as he got twisted around. We'll get a stoppage of play. Face off the neutral ice area. Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you by Shine Dental, Mr. Reuter, and Cambria Credit Union.
Winnipeg likes their defense to be aggressive, especially when you have that forward coming back and covering for you. And Neil Pionk has certainly taken full advantage of that over the course of this game. He's intercepted a couple of plays in the neutral zone and hasn't hesitated, even on pucks that could be bouncing or whatever, to get down into almost like a shortstop type of position. You drop down to that one knee, make yourself big, and almost field a flipping puck like a ground ball and keep it in front, prevent Dallas from going the other way.
Toward the corner, Robertson ejects it off the wall, put it back toward the line, held down by Dallas onto the far side. Marchment will play back into where the corner for Robertson. Robertson back toward the line here, and it came outside the line on Alexander Petrovic. It'll be offside against the Dallas Stars. 6:58 remaining in the second period. We are tied at 1. We're going to talk a little bit about that 50-50 round 2. How about the $1 million? Like it was a $2 million pot, so on a 50-50, the winning ticket got $1 million. It was claimed, by the way. Congratulations.
Yes. Talk about life-changing there. That's tremendous, and they've started it up all over again.
20 pounds off the bump in off the stanchion, but tight against the post was Hellebuck on the far side. Winnipeg will dispatch it back out towards center ice. Life-changing for the individual that won it, but also for everybody that helps out with the True North Youth Foundation. A shot off the rush is just floated wide again on the far side on that entry by Duchesne. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Duchesne with it again. Redirects it down inside that Winnipeg end. DeMello a hard rim around the boards and breaking free at center ice as Iafallo. He couldn't gather it up, but icing washed out. Iafallo after it along with Tanev into where the corner on the far side. Tanev came away with a puck, turns and fires. Off a stick it goes. It rolls around to the near side. Luke Shen will go after it and hold the line. Play it back around to the far side for Tanev. Tanev will spill it around to the near side. Scooting after it again is Shen. Scraped it off the boards, worked into where the corner. Still on the puck. He bounces his man there on the near side. In Wyatt Johnston. Winnipeg trying to keep it alive. And it came back out towards center ice and moved ahead for Ben. Now for Ceci and dumped inside that Winnipeg end. Rolled around to the far side. Steele goes after it. He has an assist tonight. Dadonov pushed against the boards there by Shannon. Back for the line. It's held by Harley. Shoots and scores. Through traffic. Harley on the near side. Shot it toward the net, and Hellebuck didn't see it. It might have been deflected. It might be Rantanen once again with his second of the night, and Dallas has their first lead of the hockey game. It's 2-1 for the Stars.
Yeah, Rantanen had 9 points in that playoff series against the Winnipeg Jets last year, and Winnipeg saw him with Colorado, they saw him with Carolina, and they've seen him with Dallas this regular season, and now here we are into the postseason, and they're having to deal with Mikko Rantanen again, who had 11 points in those last 3 games of the series against the Colorado Avalanche, off to a start with 2 goals here, and yeah, it's just a little subtle deflection off the point shot that just changes direction enough to get by Hellebuck.
Rantanen is second of the night, 7th of the postseason, 14:21 the time of the goal. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. So Winnipeg trailing with 5 minutes remaining. Back with the line. Shot by Sandberg. Stopped by Ottinger. And he'll hang on for a whistle. 5:21 to be precise remaining in this second period. The score, Dallas 2, Winnipeg 1. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey from downtown Winnipeg and Canada Life Center on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Noble, proud, feathered to stay warm. Goes great with watching hockey. Turkey, perfectly Canadian. Buy Canadian turkey and support Canadian farmers like me.
Rule the outdoors with Makita outdoor power equipment available at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. Right now and only while the Jets are in the playoffs, spend a minimum of $500 on Makita products and receive a free Makita cordless radio worth $209. Plus, get a 4-amp battery at a special discounted price. Makita lawnmowers, line trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws are in stock too.
Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
How has Ag Direct Hail become one?
Hey, this is Morgan Barron, and you're listening to Winnipeg Jets Hockey with Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton on 680 CJOB.
2-1 Dallas, 5:21 remaining in the second period. There's lots of reasons to celebrate this second round series, including another chance to win the Winnipeg Jets 50-50 playoff mega raffle. Win $1,000 to $25,000 cash prizes during game days, or take home half the total progressive pot at the end of the round, which grew to $1 million prize, as we talked about in the first round. Text Jets at 20450 to get your 50-50 tickets now. Shifley motors inside the zone, back in by the net, trying to get it out in front. Chipped away. Dallas abscond from the pocket, cruises out towards center ice, onto the far side. They'll dump it in. Cece will wrap it around to the near side, pulled off the wall by Pionk. Played back in behind the net for Sandberg. Up along the boards and out towards center ice, flying through that neutralized Velarde. He captured that pass, dropped it now for Connor, moves in, shoots that top of body and wide. Grabbed on the far side by Shifley, tried to twist it back toward the line, intercepted. Out towards center ice is Wyatt Johnston. He tried to knock it in. That was swatted out of the air by Sandberg. Winnipeg will capture the puck again. To the near side, Connor redirects it down inside of that Dallas end. Icing washed out. Rimmed around to the near side, out towards center ice it goes. Winnipeg will fetch that again. Niederreiter back inside his own zone for Fleury. Far side for Appleton. He'll knock it down inside that Dallas end. Rolled around to the far side, pulled off the wall now by Dadonov, out towards center ice to the near side. Harley across the line. His pass rink wide, intercepted by Appleton. He gave it away. Hence, now here for Rantanen on the far side, moving in. Harley shoots, and it's gloved down by Hellebuck. And he'll hang on for a whistle. And Winnipeg has to protect the puck better inside their own zone. Just a pure, ugly giveaway inside their own end.
Yeah, Appleton looking, I think, to stretch the ice a little bit and find Niederreiter, who had kind of started to vacate the zone, but he didn't get enough on it, and Harley's just able to knock it down, and a couple of back and forth passes by Dallas across the zone to try to get the Winnipeg Jets defense moving results in a glorious opportunity for Harley, but Hellebuck, that's a big save for his team there.
Dallas, Harley shoots, stopped by Hellebuck. As Dallas won the draw, back out in front, backhand by Seguin. He's hauled down, penalty coming up to Cole Perfetti. And he knows it, and he's going to skate to the penalty box. Or is it going to be Hayden Fleury? It's Fleury.
Minor penalty, cross-checking.
Cross-checking call to Fleury.
Some pressure right off the face-off from the Dallas Stars results in Connor Hellebuck having to make another big stop, and then Fleury is kind of squaring up with Seguin in front, and it's Seguin who kind of was about to get inside position, and the crowd thinks Seguin was already falling when Fleury went to throw the cross-check on him, but sometimes you wonder with Winnipeg getting 3 consecutive power plays that one might be going back the other way, and there it is.
So Fleury for cross-checking. It's 16-11. Puts Dallas on the power play for the first time tonight. Randy with the puck. Sent it back along the boards, and it popped off the shin pad there of Harley. And muscled out towards center ice and backhanded there by Iafo and all the way down the ice. 3.5 remaining, second period, 2-1 Dallas. Here they come, swiftly through that neutral ice to the near side. Duchesne along the boards. Boarded there by Lowry, but he bets the puck again on the far side, and it's slid in by Rantanen. He scores. Mikko Rantanen with another hat trick. And it's 3-1 thanks to a power play goal for Dallas.
And I think this one goes off of Dylan Sandberg. He kind of saw it go in and just looked up to the rafters of Canada Life Center. But again, Winnipeg, a near opportunity to get this puck out high in the zone. It stays in. And Dallas just quickly sends the puck to the other side of the ice just to try to alleviate some of that pressure. And who's on the other side of the ice? Well, it's Mikko Rantanen. And I think he's trying to go to Hintz on the back door, but it redirects off of Sandberg and past Hellebuck.
So Rantanen with a 6th, 7th, and 8th of the postseason. A hat trick tonight. At 16:38, he gets his third to make it 3-1. So it's Mikko Rantanen 3, Winnipeg 1. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. So a power play goal for the Dallas Stars. They're 1 for 1. Winnipeg is behind by 2 goals. Here at home with 3:08 remaining in the second period. Jets after the puck. Tanev threw it toward the net, off a stick and wide, kept alive by Shant, rolled around into where the corner. Dallas will move it up along the board, stopped again by Tanev, dances into where the corner, chipped it around back in by the net. Iafo tried to squeeze around. CC lost the puck. Oscar back out towards center ice. He'll backhand it down. It won't have enough for icing down inside that Winnipeg end. Shen will leave it into where the corner of the far side for Miller. Miller indirect onto the far side for Kyle Connor. Hops inside the zone and flopped it down into where that left wing corner. On the far side, he will go after it. Ben is there to help out his defenseman, Harley. Ben gave it away. Velarde out in front. Shifley shoots and scores! Some great forechecking work by the Winnipeg Jets, and they forced the Dallas Stars into a turnover. Velarde snatches the puck out in front for Shifley. Wristed it home. Winnipeg's within 1. It's 3-2 Dallas. 2:25 remaining in this second period. And for Mark Shifley, his third of the postseason.
Welcome back to the lineup, Mark Shifley. A big goal for his team here. You mentioned it, Paul. It's forechecking pressure, but Dallas still has numbers, after the initial wave by the Winnipeg Jets. And Jamie Benn just fumbles on a backhand rim play. And because Winnipeg's in good position on the forecheck, they're able to find Shifley quickly in a whole bunch of open space.
Winnipeg comes charging back inside the zone again. They go back after it, try to hold the line. Canon out towards center ice. It came. Shifley will take that away from Ben, but it went off his paraphernalia to the near side, and swaying back after it is Duchesne. He'll snap it inside the zone. Fleury up along the boards. Winnipeg will expel it back out towards center ice. Velarde stops up at center ice. He moved it ahead for Shifley. Swings inside the zone. Shifley tried with the opposite side where he was going in on his wrong side to get around Harley. Could not. Harley made a good defensive play on him. Back the other way. Robertson, far side. Inside that Winnipeg end. Turned around. Fired a puck toward the net. Blocked there by Sandberg. He'll pitch it off the boards out towards center ice. 1:35 remaining in this second period. Fans are back into it. A 1-goal lead for Dallas. Here comes Nemestikov into where the corner of the near side inside the Dallas end. Back to the line. Pionk shoots. Blocked by Marchment. Marchman will fetch the puck out towards center ice. Will go, and he'll backhand it down inside of that Winnipeg end. Rolled around to the near side. Trying to hold the line. Robertson and did. Spins it around to the far side. Neil Pionk will secure it along the boards. Kept it at the line. Puck is thrown through that slot area. Nobody home for Dallas. Picked up there by Nemestikov. Pushed it ahead with some speed for Ehlers. Cruises inside the zone. He got chopped up. Cutting toward the front of the net. And then the slot by Lee and Bischel. No penalty call. Back the other way to the near side. Rope hits. He will slam it in toward the corner on the near side. Winnipeg will go after it. Cole Perfetti will spin it off the boards and send it out towards center ice. 35 seconds remaining in this second period. Far side again, Ceci. Down to the near side. Paddled in by Granlund. Shot around to the near side. Hellebuck helped that. Kept in by Lindell. Lindell's shot blocked. Grabbed again. Lindell taking off the puck, and Lowry will backhand it out towards center ice. Somebody's broken a stick. And with 15 seconds remaining, Winnipeg will set it up at the side of their net. Fleury to the near side to Mello. Long lead pass now again for Tanev. He'll hoist it down inside the zone. Rolling back in behind the net is Appleton. Back toward the line for Fleury. Better hurry. 5 seconds to go. His shot is blocked. And the rebound to the near side. Tackled from behind is Steele. Or DeMello tackled from behind by Steele. And the horn sounds to end 40 minutes of hockey. Dallas leading 3-2, and I don't think there'll be a penalty coming out of that. And we have a special guest coming up in between this second and third period. In our second intermission report, the commissioner of the National Hockey League, Gary Bettman, will join Kelly Moore, so we will leave the summary until after Kelly is done with the commissioner. Second intermission report coming up next. The score, Dallas 3, Winnipeg 2. After 2, you're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
I'm Richard Kluche.
For more than 30 years, he has been the voice bringing you the news, breaking the news.
We turn now to a 680 CJOB exclusive.
CJOB's Richard Kluche, who Manitobans turn to time and again to share their stories.
Those rate hikes would be just astronomical.
Right? Is it going to be the lake of our childhood? Is it going to be a lake we can play in with our kids?
Discrimination because their child has a disability.
The news, Monday to Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. on 680 CJOB.
You know what goes well with pizza from Santa Lucia Pizza. They've been the leaders in quality since 1971, and now they just keep winning award after award after award. So, sounds like they know a thing or two about making tasty pizza. How about this? When you're getting ready on game day, choose one of Santa Lucia Pizza's many specials or combos and find out why time and time again it's listed as Manitoba's favorite pizza.
Santa Lucia Pizza. It's all about the sauce.
Experience the excitement at South Beach Casino and Resort as we celebrate 20 fantastic years, and we have you to thank. We appreciate your support over the last 2 decades, so come celebrate our 20th anniversary with us. We're kicking things off April 21st with a chance to win a brand new Jeep Sahara. Winner announced May 31st. 20 years, now that's worth celebrating at South Beach Casino and Resort. Details at southbeachcasino.ca.
This is your front row seat to all the action for Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
Welcome back to Canada Life Center. After 2 periods of play, the Dallas Stars, or maybe I should say Mikko Rantanen, leads the Winnipeg Jets 3-2. Just a reminder, Jets fans, nothing is bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Get access to playoff packages and pre-sales for round 2, round 3, and beyond by visiting winnipegjets.com/memberships. Well, as Paul Edmonds mentioned, we have a very special guest, Commissioner Gary Bettman. Welcome back to Winnipeg, sir.
It's always great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. I know that we're a little bit tight on time, so I'm going to get right to it. The question I wanted to ask you right off the top.
No.
You'll like this one. And that is, in your tenure, has there ever been a greater 48 hours of playoff hockey than we saw last Saturday and Sunday?
It was sensational, but when you think about how competitive our season is, and not just this season, and the races to the playoffs, we had 2 or 3 teams that didn't know their playoff status to the last game of the regular season. our first round is always, I think, the best in sports. And so we also saw something kind of unique. That type of multi-goal come from behind victory in our entire history until this past weekend, I believe, had only happened 3 times. And then we almost doubled the count. It showed you both games exactly what's so riveting about our game, that the players never get up and, don't turn off your TV set and don't leave your seat until the very end of the game, because anything can happen. I mean, 1.6 seconds, whoever could have believed that comeback?
Yeah, in this case, don't turn off your radios either.
And that too. Yes.
So, from the perspective of what a great season it has been, has the success of the Utah Mammoths, we can now refer to them as opposed to Utah Hockey Club, did that exceed even your expectations, or was it pretty much what you charted?
We believed it would be really good, and it was beyond really good. The number of things that Ryan and Ashley Smith Entertainment Group had to do, it was 54 weeks ago that Ryan and I had a handshake to do a deal that had never been done before. It had to be documented. It had to be put together. The equity had to be raised. They had to build a practice facility on a temporary basis. They're in the middle of constructing a permanent practice facility. I was there today, and there were cranes inside the building doing the renovation. They had, in a relatively few weeks, last summer, they had to move the hockey operations and the players up. They had to sell tickets. They had to establish themselves in the community. They did everything that had to be done. They're obviously very good at multitasking, and they did it phenomenally. Everything's been done in a first-class way, and we're thrilled to be in Utah.
Let me ask you this. Did they face an even more of a challenge than Winnipeg did back in 2011 with the relocation of Atlanta?
Well, but the relocation here was a little different. The building was here, and Mark Chipman had been working for years to make this a reality. He was unrelenting, and the Moose were here, and so there was more of a foundation in terms of the infrastructure. I think, and the time constraints were tight, but I think he had a little bit better head start. Not to minimize that effort, because that was Herculean as well.
Yes.
And look at the results. I mean, this is sensational.
Yeah, well, we always try to connect the dots locally. That's why I wanted to ask you about the comparison. With respect to the upcoming CBA, would you say that it is more cordial and you're more optimistic than you were the last time you were involved in negotiations?
Well, the last time we were involved in negotiations was successful and peaceful as well. It was during COVID.
Yes.
It was the 3 times prior to that.
Okay, I'd successfully forgotten about that COVID,
Marty Walsh has been a terrific collaborator, partner. He's become a friend. And I think he and I are of the view that if we can work together, we together can make great things happen. And we haven't had the contentiousness, which is always unnecessary in these relationships. I mean, sometimes unions like to posture. Sometimes management likes to posture for their constituents. But I think we've been having a really constructive dialogue, and I'm looking forward to doing great things, more great things. I mean, look at Four Nations with the Players Association.
Boy, I'll tell you, that had to have exceeded all expectations. 2 more questions for you, Commissioner, so you can curtail your answers however you see fit. But just in terms of with the projections for the salary cap, $95 million next year, then capping out in 27-28, $113.5. Is there any reason why smaller markets like Winnipeg, the smallest market in the National Hockey League, their fans should be concerned that their team would have difficulties competing?
Well, let's be clear. Part of the increase in the salary cap, as much as it's gone up, is because it had been suppressed so that the players could pay back the $1.5 billion that we advanced during COVID. That money got paid back. We had projected 5 years. Turned out we got it back in 3, which is also the second part, which is revenues are strong. We just made a new national TV deal in Canada. And so it's all realistic. As it relates to any franchise, there is revenue sharing, and it can be quite substantial. But if the community is supporting the team, and the building's full and the business community's behind them, there's no reason why anybody should be doubting the future and our commitment, or Mark Chipman and David Thompson's commitment to Winnipeg.
And on that note, as we wrap it up, 14 or 15 months or so ago when you were here in Winnipeg, you asked me, why are you asking these questions about the Winnipeg Jets? But clearly,
okay, so cut it out.
Yeah, well, it worked, Commissioner. There were 15 sellouts at the tail end of the season. You're seeing full buildings here.
It's not unusual when teams go through transformations. A fan base can age up a little bit, and it has to replenish itself and be relevant to younger people. It's not the first time I've seen this happen for a franchise. That was also compounded with the fact that there was no corporate ticket base because of the way tickets were initially sold here. And so it was a confluence of things. I've never worried about Winnipeg as an NHL market. This is a place with great fans, and hockey matters here, and it's a place where I know the people of Winnipeg want to have a hockey team, and it's a place where the NHL wants to be.
Well, you can imagine how much it mattered Sunday night. It was pandemonium here. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for the time.
Great to be with you.
Absolutely. Gary Bettman, the Commissioner of the National Hockey League, paying a visit to Winnipeg tonight for Game 2 of this Western Conference semifinal. Take a break. Come back, and Paul Edmonds will be able to take care of the summary. We'll also have a scoreboard update with Tyson Rowicki. 3-2, the Winnipeg Jets trailing the Dallas Stars through 40 minutes on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Winnipeg, are you whiteout ready? Choose Hometown Pride. Choose 1919. Brewed by Little Brown Jug, Manitoba's flagship beer since 2016. Here's to building something memorable.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So, on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Cambrian Credit Union helps Manitobans plan for every financial milestone, big and small. All this while giving back to the community and Cambrian members. Keep your money right here in Manitoba. From getting your first credit card for concert tickets at the Burt, to buying a home in Southdale or Garden City with expert mortgage advice, to planning for retirement on Lake Winnipeg. Wherever you're going, Cambrian Credit Union can help you get there. Member owned and proudly local. Visit cambrian.mb.ca.
Winnipeg Jets exclusive coverage continues on 680 CJOB and CJKR 97.5 FM Power 97. Bet on Manitoba. Enjoy responsibly. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
3-2, the Dallas Stars leading the Winnipeg Jets. And Paul, if you were still back writing for the Swift Current Herald, I think your headline would have been "The Moose is Loose."
In the general store. And that is Mikko Rantanen for sure. Kelly, by the way, great interview with the Commissioner of the National Hockey League, Gary Bettman. Clear, concise, answering some questions, and I think we all have a better idea of what's going on with our market and certainly the National Hockey League overall. Nino Niederreiter opened the scoring for Winnipeg after a scoreless first period. He did so 3:30 into the second. His third of the postseason from Appleton and Fleury, 1-0 Winnipeg. But Mikko Rantanen goes to work with 3 consecutive goals. He ties it up with his 6th from Dadonov and Steele at 8:43. He gives his team a 2-1 lead with his 2nd and 7th of the postseason from Harley and Lyubushkin at 14:21. Then he caps the natural hat trick with his 3rd and his 8th of the postseason. Duchesne hints the assists at 16:38. And it was at that point 3-1 for Dallas, but Winnipeg got one back a minute later, 17:35. They needed that one. Mark Scheifele, his third of the postseason from Velarde, 3-2 Dallas. That's the way we sit at the end of 2 periods of play. Power play opportunities. Dallas 1 for 1 with the man advantage because that last Mikko Rantanen goal was on the power play. That ends a string where Winnipeg had killed 10 consecutive power plays against them and time short. So they are now 1 for their last 11 when it comes to giving up power plays against the opposition going back to that series with St. Louis. And Winnipeg is 0 for 3 with the man advantage tonight so far. Shots on goal in that second period. Each team had 8, and the 2-period total belongs to the Winnipeg Jets at 21-20 over Dallas. 3-2 Dallas at the end of 2. Kelly, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. And just before we hear from Tyson Rowicki with the scoreboard update, Coach, we'll probably hear from the Winnipeg Jets about self-inflicted wounds like on that first goal.
Yeah, it's just a easy D-zone entry that they had 5 guys back from up top. When it first came in the zone, it looked great. Then all of a sudden, Steele just kind of stops on the half wall, creates some space for himself, and everybody just kind of retreats to the middle of the ice. And if you give any player, in the NHL that kind of time and space, he's going to make a play with it. And he made a cross-ice pass that went through the guts of the ice to the other side of the ice, and the puck was put on net. Connor Hellebuyck kind of gets a piece of it, and then there's a rebound, and Rantanen just kind of taps in with one hand. There's a lot going on in that split second there, but there's a lot of breakdowns that happen because of the result of the goal.
Well, we'll see if the Scheifele goal can give the Jets some momentum for the third period. Tyson Rowicki standing by with a quick scoreboard update. And I'll tell you, they are happy in Toronto tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The Maple Leafs won 4-3 to take a 2-0 series lead. Mitch Marner scored the game winner in that one. Barkov and Marchand picked up goals for the Panthers as well. Marchand's first goal as a Panther. So they head back to Florida, down 2-0 in the series, something that I don't think a lot of people expected. Now going on to the hardwood, the Knicks won 91-90 over the Celtics to take a surprising 2-0 series lead. And in the other NBA series, the Nuggets took a surprise 1-0 lead. Tonight, though, Kelly, they're not so lucky because the Thunder are up 124-76 after the third quarter. And then the Winnipeg Valor won 1-0 over TSSFC to win their first match of the year.
All right. Dwayne Gilowaychuk, real quick here. What do we look for in the third period?
Well, I think the first 5 minutes, the first round, the shifts for all the forwards. They've got to get some sustained zone pressure. They've got to get some traffic in front of the Dallas goaltender and have some quality shots. But I think first and foremost, they've got to establish their forecheck here in the third period. They really haven't had it consistently through this game yet. But they've got to take this game over. They can't let Dallas score the next goal.
All right. The Jets had 2 come-from-behind wins in that first round series against St. Louis to equal their season total. Can they make it 3 here tonight? Paul and Mitchell next with the third period on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Jets fans, playoff hockey is back, and there's nothing bigger than the Winnipeg Whiteout. You can be here for every unforgettable history-making moment by becoming a season ticket member today. Experience the Whiteout inside Canada Life Center, live and in person. Get access to playoff packages and pre-sales for round 2 and beyond by visiting winnipegjets.com/memberships today. That's winnipegjets.com/memberships.
There's nothing quite like the playoffs. And there's no better way to enjoy the games in the comfort of your own home. Top shelf, baby! JS Furniture wants you to break away with these amazing deals. Save up to 40% off 4 model recliners and select reclining sofas, so you can watch every hit, shot, and celly. JS Furniture, serving you for over 50 years. 1725 Ellis Avenue in Winnipeg, and now open in their new location in Portage la Prairie. Visit furnitureandmore.ca.
Do you need more laughter in your life? Get ready for a wild time at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 18th through 20th at Assiniboine Park. Get ready for a weekend packed with laughs from John Mulaney.
Wouldn't have happened on my watch.
Martin Short, Bert Kreischer, Theo Vaughn, Whitney Cummings, Jeremy Piven, Trailer Park Boys,
Decent,
Ms. Pat, Dusty Slay, and Laura Peak. Tickets on sale now at GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Club is expressly prohibited. This is Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
Third period just about upon us. 3-2 Dallas in front. Jets are flying from our broadcast right to left. Scheifele will take the draw against Duchesne. Duchesne will win it back inside his own zone, and we're underway in the final frame here in game number 1. Mikko Rantanen with a hat trick tonight, a natural hat trick. Niederreiter and Scheifele have the goals for the Winnipeg Jets. And we welcome you back to the broadcast booth, which is for Namath Diamonds. For your diamond engagement ring, see Namath Diamonds, a family tradition of excellence in Southdale Square. Dallas back inside that Winnipeg end. Scheifele fighting for some space. Trying to get the puck. Velarde there to help out. Snapped it off the boards and tumbles it back out towards center ice. Labushkin into toward the middle on the far side for Duchesne. For Ben. He was going to be offside. Winnipeg will chip it off the boards. 2-on-1. Scheifele down around the right wing boards. Moved in and he tried to pass it. Rolled off the end of his stick. He fanned on it. Came back with a line. Chaperoned into where the corner by Sandberg, back him on the net. Rolled around to the near side, chopped off the boards by Seguin, and rolled out towards center ice. Good chance for Winnipeg. Scheifele a little indecisive on what he wanted to do there, Mitchell.
Yeah, I think he was looking across because more often than not, he finds a way to slide it over to Kyle Connor there, and then it was kind of taken away from him.
Granlund across the line. He'll drop it for Rantanen with 3 goals out in front, and a quick shot chipped toward the net, stopped in front. Hellebuck might have got a piece of it. That came off the stick of Rope Hintz out towards center ice. Rantanen again for Hintz. He's got to step on Miller. Slides in. Rolls back in on the net. Tried the wraparound at the side of the net. And the puck is carried back in behind that Winnipeg goal by Sandberg. Sandberg to the near side for Lowry. He'll shoot it inside the zone. Tumbled into where the corner. Appleton goes after it. Try to slide off a check. Appleton back toward the line to the near side. Pulled off the wall by Miller. Shoots. Stopped with the right pad of Oncher into where the corner. Appleton skirts it along the boards. Lowry pushed against the back wall there. Marchman will try to get it out. He can. Kept in by Ehlers. Shoots. And it goes off a stick as the puck found Nikolai Ehlers in the slot and goes over the back glass into the meshing and out of play it goes. 18:07 remaining in this third period. 3-2 Dallas. Winnipeg Jets hockey brought to you in part by JS Furniture, Namath Diamonds, and the Manitoba Physiotherapy Association.
A little bit of a line switch up in the middle 6 for the Winnipeg Jets. Just that last shift, Nikolai Ehlers was with Lowry and Appleton, and now we're seeing Niederreiter with Nemestikov and Perfetti, who we obviously saw in the St. Louis series early on.
Back into where the corner. Up along the boards. Harley can't get it out. Winnipeg stole that. Perfetti tried to get it out in front, looking backdoor for Niederreiter. Broken up the distance by Dallas, and we'll get an icing call against the Stars.
I'm curious if that's an adjustment that they're seeing because they want to get maybe a little bit more size onto that Nemestikov line. And Nino Niederreiter, of course, knows with the best of them in the National Hockey League how to get to the front of that net. And then you also pair Nikolai Ehlers with a little bit of size as well in Adam Lowry.
Harley will send it around on the far side, knocked down by DeMello. Fights for the puck. Nobody back in behind him. Out towards center ice it goes. Chip back inside that Winnipeg end by Fleury. Races back in behind his own net, trying to shake off a check and did. Flipped it down inside that Dallas end. Harley will glove that to his stick and snap it off the boards out towards center ice. Winnipeg will curl at center and Fleury to the near side again. Niederreiter too far for him. Icing will be the call against the Jets. 17.5 remaining in this third period. 3-2 for Dallas.
And obviously, if you're Winnipeg, you've gotten that kind of high-quality scoring chance early in this period, which is a good thing, obviously, as you're trying to get yourself back into the game. The main thing is just to make sure you don't allow those transition chances against, and Dallas has had a couple of looks in this period.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck. Nemestikov will take the draw against Duchesne. Nemestikov will win it. Squirreling into where the corner on the near side and driving it up along the boards. Here is Niederreiter. He'll try to shoot it in, and it just continued to gain height and goes into the meshing back in behind that Dallas net. Just outside of the blue line, and we'll get a face-off at center ice. 17:22 remaining third period. Dallas by 1.
We've seen over the course of the game, too, where Pete DeBoer has been willing to double shift Mikko Rantanen on that fourth line in Dodonov's spot. So something to watch as we go forward here.
Sent up along the boards by Winnipeg. Morgan Barron trying to get by a check. Snatched there by Dallas. They just about turned it over in front of his own net, Duchesne, but he had a few mates to help out, including Bischel. Bischel now for Petrovic. Onto the far side, too far for Ben. And down inside the Winnipeg end it goes. We'll get a stoppage of play. And a face-off in the neutral ice.
That's one thing you're always going to get from that Barron line with Tanev and Iafallo on the wings is they're going to be in your face, and that's exactly what they were on this last shift, high in the Dallas zone and very nearly creating a scoring chance off of it. Just good stick by Brandon Tanev, and Morgan Barron's got the speed to win some races to pucks as well, and wouldn't be surprised if they're one of the lines that helps Winnipeg get back into it.
Nikolai Ehlers steals the puck, darts toward the front of the net, a backhand, and he just put it wide. Excellent rush by Nikolai Ehlers back in behind the net. Appleton with the puck. Appleton back toward the line for Pionk. Pionk wristed toward the net, deflected by Lowry, just wide again. Snatched to the near side by Rantanen. He settles it down with 3 goals tonight. Starts to maneuver to the near side, navigates inside the zone, drops it for CC, his shot, stopped by Hellebuck, rebound, carted away, exhausted out towards center ice and snapped in there by Appleton. Winnipeg will make a wholesale line change. 16:20 remaining in this third period. 3-2 for Dallas. Winnipeg will steal the puck. Velarde marches back in for Connor. Connor Velarde, pass was back in behind him. Couldn't kick it from his skate to his stick. Flush back out towards center ice. Wyatt Johnston swings through the neutral ice. Will dump it inside the Winnipeg end. Turning his skates there to the near side to Mello. Moved it up along the boards. Got it back again. Shipley there to help out in front of his own net for Fleury. Escapes some pressure. He starts to rumble out towards center ice. We're going to get a stoppage and a penalty behind the scenes against Velarde on Jason Robertson. And Dallas will go on to the power play.
Winnipeg 13, minor penalty interference.
Interference call against Gabe Velarde.
And obviously Velarde doesn't like it at all, and John Hebert is kind of showing that Velarde put his elbow out, and that's what impeded Jason Robertson from being able to cut off Hayden Fleury. But I think Velarde's like, well, I didn't even know he was there. He kind of just skated into my arm, but he's not winning that argument, so obviously a big moment in the game here with Winnipeg on the penalty kill.
Dallas on their second power play of the night. They are 1 for 1. Velarde for interference at 4:05. 3-2 Dallas in front. Just under 16 minutes remaining in this third period. We do it to the right of Hellebuck. Dallas wins the draw. Up top, Harley coming right down Main Street. Slings it toward the net. Stopped in front. Rebound gathered up again by Harley. Put back in behind the net. Winnipeg will take that. DeMello off the boards. Over the stick of Duchesne on the fill. Back at the line. And all the way down the ice it goes.
That's a big clear for Winnipeg early. Dallas had possession down low, and sometimes you can get the penalty kill a little bit collapsed, and Winnipeg able to force that turnover and get that clear.
Dallas Stars will race in and dump it inside the Winnipeg end. Rolled around to the near side. Neil Pionk will find that. Slap it all the way down. And then DeMello pushing and shoving back in behind the play. Now some wrestling going on. DeMello. And he ripped the helmet off of Rope Hintz. Neither one of them have a stick. And I would think that they would finger both of them for roughing calls here back in behind the play. And we'll get offsetting minors.
You don't often see Dylan DeMello get that upset with a player. They both kind of go down together at the same time.
Winnipeg number 2, 2-minute cheese for roughing.
DeMello's trying to get up and get out of there, and Hintz has kind of got the stick of DeMello in his hand and not letting him go. And yeah, it'll be offsetting minors for both. 1:22 left on that Velarde penalty as well, so positive for Winnipeg is that the faceoff comes all the way down to the Dallas end.
Face-off to the left of Ottinger. Barron will take the draw. Still a 5-on-4 for Dallas. And Duchesne will win it. Side of his net for Harley. Lumbering out towards center ice. Makes a nice move. Swings towards center ice. Put it back inside his own zone for Rantanen. In toward the middle for Duchesne. He'll drop it now again for Johnston. Johnston will turn it over the Jets line. And Shan will wrist it all the way down the ice. 1:05 remaining in the penalty to Velarde. Under 15 minutes remaining third period. 3-2 for the Dallas Stars. Wyatt Johnston onto the tape on the far side for Robertson. He'll push it inside the Winnipeg end, but turn it over. Winnipeg will discard it all the way down the ice once again.
2 quality reads by Winnipeg on the entry. First one by Luke Shen to jump into the passing lane. Another one by Adam Lowry to disrupt, and then Shen jumps in on that loose puck.
Duchesne to the near side for Rantanen. At center ice, up the middle of the ice, hearing some boos to the near side for Wyatt Johnston. Beatles into where the corner, put it back toward the line. Held on the far side, now up top here for Harley, back for Duchesne. Back down low for Johnston, redirect, stopped by Hellebuck, tight against the post was Hellebuck, came off it to smother that redirect on the top of the crease by Johnston. And Hellebuck makes the save and hangs on. 14-17 remaining third period, 22 seconds to go. In the penalty to Gabe Vilardi.
And Hayden Fleury reading this play that Dallas is going to go down low and then try to send a quick centering pass. Basically just immediately drops down, and because he does that, that pass from Wyatt Johnston likely to Robertson on the backdoor side doesn't get through, and Connor Hellebuck's able to smother it and prevent the chance from being even more high danger than it was.
Face off to the right of Hellebuck. Granlund will take the draw against Scheifele. Scheifele will win it into where the corner, and Pionk got a stick up in his face. It's touched by Dallas. And there's going to be a penalty coming up to the Dallas Stars right off the face-off, and Neil Pionk will check for blood.
My vision's good, but I didn't see how many fingers they held up.
Dallas penalty, number 91, 2 minutes, high sticking.
And that's why I didn't see it. There wasn't that many of them. Only 2 fingers up, not 4. So 19 seconds left on the Vilardi penalty, and then Winnipeg will have a glorious opportunity of their own. And again, the other positive for Winnipeg is this faceoff comes all the way back down to the Dallas end. So if you win this faceoff, you could have some significant opportunity to create with some open ice at 4-on-4.
So some 4-on-4 action for 19 seconds. Face-off to the left of Onger. 3-2 Dallas. 14-14 remaining third period. Scheifele will win the draw for Ehlers. Arcs off the boards to the near side for Connor. Catches that pass, swivels into where the corner, works his way back toward the line. High slot, far side for Ehlers. Down along the boards, cuts into where the slot. Ehlers still has a puck, shoots, and it's off the stick of a challenging Lindell. Up and over the back glass, and out of play it goes. So 3 seconds remaining in 4-on-4. Then Vilardi is going to come out. That's advantageous to the Winnipeg Jets. They'll just have him join his regular power play unit.
And Nikolai Ehlers coming over, just quick chat with the officials about something. I'm not sure if Winnipeg wants to take a timeout here.
I think they want to do the dry scrape before the power play starts. While there's still some 4-on-4, as we are now inside of 14 minutes. 13:58 remaining in this third period. Timeout on the ice. We'll do the same on your radio. 3-2 Dallas in front. You're listening to Play Now Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey from Canada Life Center in downtown Winnipeg on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Grab your jersey. Grab your generic lager. Impressively standard beer for impressively intense moments. Brewed in Winnipeg by Little Brown Jug. Generic, the most domestic choice.
Manitobans know our weather can be all over the place. Today, it might be cold and shitty, but tomorrow, you might feel like an egg cooking on the sidewalk. Get ahead of the weather changes with reliable heating and air conditioning. Hi, I'm Kelsey Waters. Call us today and get a preseason checkup of your air conditioner before the hot summer days arrive. Plus, get a $50 gift card just by referring a friend to Reliable Heating. We are family strong, reliable strong, and Winnipeg strong. For details, visit reliableheatair.ca.
Kettle sample are delectable. Filet mignon?
Oh, no, thank you. Actually, I'd love to, but my dentures have another idea.
Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with Shine Dental. Their expert team helps secure loose dentures while improving your oral health, making eating more pleasurable and ensuring you smile confidently. Available at Shine Dental's 1104 Pembina Highway location.
Would you like to try?
Yes, I would.
Book today and find your shine at shinedental.ca.
Hey, this is Nikolai Ehlers. Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton are bringing it Winnipeg Jets hockey style on 680 CJOB.
Jets now the power play, coming right down Broadway. Connor shooting, and it grazes off of the shoulder of Ottinger up and into the machine behind that Dallas net as we welcome you back. 13:51 remaining, third period, 3-2 for the Stars. Dallas now shorthanded for the fourth time. Winnipeg on the power play for the fourth time. The Jets are 0 for 3 tonight. Jets hockey brought to you in part by Reliable Heating and Air Conditioning, Prairie Battery, and Jacuzzi, Manitoba. Jets win the draw again. Near side Ehlers rolls off the board. He'll play it down low for Scheifele. He maneuvers back toward the hash marks. He'll play it down low Velarde. Back for Scheifele. Up top Pionk. Wristed through traffic. Deflected in front by Velarde just wide. Skewered back toward the line. Held by Pionk. He is hassled there. And it's plungered out towards center ice by Wyatt Johnston. And the puck will slide back inside that Winnipeg end. Nikolai Ehlers will fly through that neutral ice. On the far side, Velarde. Cross over the line for Scheifele. To the near side for Connor. A little tardy getting there. Connor will get the puck back toward the line for Pionk. Pionk swivels up top now for Ehlers. To the near side for Connor. Couldn't take that cleanly. Grabbed again by Ehlers for Pionk. Cast into where the corner. Velarde. Strong move out in front. And he lost the puck last second. Poked off his stick. Goes right to Sam Steele. And he'll rip it all the way down the ice.
Lots of good from a creativity standpoint from the Winnipeg Jets power play. There just seems like there's like that one pass that just bobbles and it kind of stops the momentum. They reset. They set up another play. Is not able to get it to the net.
Nemesnikov down along the boards and inside that Dallas end. Back in behind the net. Put it back toward the line. Stopped there by Niederreiter. He scored tonight, but it was bouncing on him and dumped back out towards center ice. 20 seconds to go in the Prairie Battery power play. Nemesnikov across the line for Niederreiter. Niederreiter back toward the line. Nice move by Cole Perfetti. Backhands it into the corner. Niederreiter tried to come out in front. Knocked off his stick by Harley. Harley will find it and wrist it all the way down the ice. And that'll do it for the penalty to Tyler Seguin. Winnipeg will be 0 for 4 with the man advantage tonight.
Fourth time in this game where we've seen Winnipeg try to use that strong net drive from the goal line to come out in front. And last one was Nino Niederreiter, and it just knocked off his stick.
Miller, far side for Appleton. Chipped it off the boards and down inside that Dallas end. Rolled around for Bischel. Lee and Bischel will get it out towards center ice for Ben. Long lead pass on the far side for Duchesne. Duchesne inside the zone. Trying to get it into where the slot. Broken up by Tanev. And Brandon Tanev will feed it to the near side for Fleury. Fleury will stop up at the Dallas line and softly send it down inside that Stars end. Rolled around and off a skate and out towards center ice. Captured again by Appleton. Far side for Pionk. Now for Tanev. He will put it in. He got pushed against the boards and check finished it on him by Lee and Bischel. Up along the boards to the near side. Long lead pass off the stick of Seguin. Icing washed out. He'll head off for a line change. Winnipeg lead pass out towards center ice. Kick from a skate to a stick. Velarde crossed over the line. Tried to go rink wide and did. Finds the stick of Connor. Up top now for Shen. Shoots. That's blocked in front. Off of Rantanen. Snatched again by Steele. To the near side for Rantanen. Too far for him. And it goes back inside that Winnipeg end. Shen onto the far side. Stuffed out towards center ice. Finds the stick there of Kyle Connor. Banks it off the boards, but not out. Labushkin will push it right back out. Winnipeg will send it right back in. And Sandberg pushes on for Winnipeg. You can feel it. 10:45 remaining in this third period. Some urgency in their game. They're trailing by 1 to the near side. Pass didn't connect for Dallas. Sandberg back inside his own zone. 3-2 Dallas. 10:30 remaining in this third period, and you're ready home the Jets. Power 97 at 680 CJOB. Robertson threw a shot toward the net, stopped by Hellebuck. Winnipeg trying to dig that rebound out of some skates, came back toward the line. Not being able to hold that is CC. Winnipeg off the boards out towards center ice. But it's knocked off the stick there of Niederreiter, but picked up by Perfetti. Skips in, shooting! And it's stopped by the goaltender in Ottinger. He'll hang on for a whistle. Stay tuned for the game's 3 stars for Shine Dental. Don't miss out on life's appetizing offerings because of ill-fitting dentures. Get set right with shinedental.ca.
Communication and possession so important for Winnipeg right now as they try to manufacture that offense to get themselves back into it. You know, Dylan Sandberg looking up ice after near the end of a shift for the Scheifele line, looking for that quick transition, but Mark Scheifele puts the arm up and says, hang on to it, hang on to it. That whole line's able to go off for a change. Winnipeg can reload, reset with a fresh set of forwards, and Cole Perfetti gets a rush chance.
Face off to the right of Ottinger. Dallas wins the draw. Lindell back in behind their own net. Far side for Ben. Flipped out towards center ice. Moved up along the boards and tried to anyway. It's Fleury. He banked his man in along the boards and freed up the puck. And Winnipeg will try to get it to settle down, and Neil Pionk does. Rink wide to the near side for Nikolai Ehlers. Carves his way back inside his own zone. Leads it back in behind his own net for Fleury. Fleury skedaddles out to the far side now for Pionk. Up along the wing now, backhanded by Appleton inside the zone. Never stayed there for very long. Sent back out towards center ice and Sandberg. Sandberg will up toward his own line. Far side now for DeMello. Into the middle for Lowry. The near side for Ehlers. Moving right in. Shooting. It's off the stick of Ceci just wide. Cast back toward the line. DeMello will hold it. Bouncing puck. He rims it around to the near side corner. Swain after it to the near side and trying to move it up along the boards. Granlund. Granlund can't get it out. Weak shot by Lowry toward the net. Stopped by Onger. Kept in by DeMello. Moves in. Shoot. And it's blocked to the far side. Stays inside the zone. After it there is Appleton. He was smothered by Dallas Stars. Three of them, in fact, gave up the puck and came out towards center ice. Rope hits, moves in, shoots. Kicked away by Hellebuck. Great save by Connor Hellebuck off the rush of Rope Hintz. Long lead pass out towards center ice as this one is opening up again. Tanev will back get it down inside that Dallas end. Wyatt Johnston goes after it. Put it back for the line. Trapped nicely by Shen. Near side for Miller. Miller took it on the backhand. Got handcuffed on that. He'll float it back into where the corner. Iafallo goes after it. Got tripped up. Stays now in the fight. Got back up. Scraped along the boards by Fischl. Winnipeg submarines him. It goes to the far side. And Petrovic off the board. Sends it all the way down. Icing will be washed out. Scurrying back to pick it up is Miller. He'll settle back in behind his own net. Now quickly out towards center ice. And into where the middle for Kyle Connor. Crossed over the line. Couldn't get it to settle down on his stick. It was bouncing on him. Now Marchment, far side. Marchment down into where the corner on the far side. Rolled it around back in behind the net to the near side corner. Babushkin will pinch in as he joined the rush. Battling against a couple of Jets. Shifley tried to come away with a puck. Scraped off his stick. Sam Steele is there. In on him to close the distance is Sandberg now for Shifley. Rolled it around to the far side for Miller. Up along the boards for Velarde. Stepping in front of him was Harley, and back from the Stars across the line. Near side. Steele moves in. Tried to cast it out in front. Broken up by Shifley. Shifley will wheel out of his own zone. Lead pass. Right on the take Connor. Cross over the line. Connor far side for Shifley. Slung toward the net. And it's stopped by Onger off the rush. Excellent play from the Winnipeg Jets goal line all the way up to the other, but denied by Onger. 7:38 remaining in this third period. Again, a timeout on the ice. We'll do the same on your radio. The score, Dallas 3, Winnipeg 2. It's getting good. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Boston Pizza is Canada's go-to place for playoffs. So this year, we're doing more than just hoping a Canadian team wins it all. We're manifesting it. We're planning the parade. We even got a bus. And we've got the sports bar dialed in with ice-cold draft beer and an elite playoff menu. Like the guy in the movie said, kind of.
If we plan it, we will win.
So when it's game day, post up early at BP and cheer for the Holy Grail to come home.
For fun and reliability you can count on, your one-stop battery source is Canadian-owned Prairie Battery.
Prairie Battery is family-owned and operated, providing reliable and trusted battery power. When you want true power, come see Prairie Battery and the Prairie Battery team, or visit us at prairiebattery.ca.
When you need batteries for industrial, commercial, auto, recreational, marine, RVs, and more, it can only be prairiebattery.ca.
At Namath Diamonds, we know our diamonds. But what we do better than that is find the right one that makes you say,
I love it.
I'm Joe Namath, and my family has been helping people find the perfect diamonds for over 30 years. Whether you're looking for engagement rings, custom jewelry, or repairs, we're here to help you. Because hearing,
this is amazing,
never gets old. Come see us today, and we'll show you why Namath Diamonds can't be beat. Namath Diamonds in Southdale Square.
Bet on Manitoba. Enjoy responsibly. This is Play Now Winnipeg Jets Hockey on 680 CJOB.
Well, the clock is ticking to get second-round playoff tickets, but Winnipeg Jet fans know there's always a chance to score a buzzer beater. Text playoffs to 1-888-606-JETS. That's 5387 to sign up for alerts of last-minute ticket releases right up until puck drop. Winnipeg out in front, and Sandberg off the face-off. A shot stopped by Onger, and then the rebound. He tried to one-hand back into the goaltender, who made the save and will hang on. 7.5 remaining Third period as we welcome you back, 3-2 Dallas.
And a nice little set play by Winnipeg off the dot. And Dylan Samberg just kind of had to double clutch this one. The pass from Kyle Connor just in his feet just a little bit, not quite in the shooting position. So Samberg has to take that extra second.
Onger will take the draw. Pardon me, to the right of Onger is the face-off, and it's Seguin winning it against Scheifele. And CC out towards center ice. And touched by a stick of Jamie Benn. So Winnipeg will leave it now inside their own zone. Benn backed off, and Winnipeg will snap it down inside that Dallas end. Kyle Connor with it, trying to get it to the high slot. Too many stars were in on him, and it's pushed back out towards center ice. Neil Pionk will try to flop it inside the zone. Fanned on that, and it goes inside the Dallas Stars bench. We'll get a stoppage in a neutralized faceoff.
Yeah, Dallas making sure that Kyle Connor high in the offensive zone does not have a whole lot of room or space to work with, even with a bouncing puck, because all it takes is for him to make one little chip play, and Mark Scheifele or Gabriel Velarde has space, so they're pressuring him on any puck that isn't handled cleanly.
Dallas wins the neutralized faceoff. Dushkin will send it inside that Winnipeg end. It's gloved ahead outside the zone by Fleury to the advantage of Winnipeg. They'll bring it back in. Face off to the left of Hellebuck, unless, well, that's the way it's got to be, I guess.
Yeah, and shots on goal in this period relatively low. 5-3 is the shots on goal in favor of Winnipeg. But that's kind of what you expect, you know, from the Dallas Stars, a team that's good defensively, and Winnipeg obviously trying to get on the offensive side of things, not allowing a whole lot either.
Puck finds its way outside of the playing surface. Another face-off will happen inside the Winnipeg end to the left of Hellebuck. Lowry will take the draw. Lowry out there with Appleton and Ehlers. Dallas wins the draw. Petrovic, a shot from the point, floated wide, came off the back wall. Appleton to the near side for Ehlers with some speed through the neutralized. Crossed over the line, back for Appleton, back for Ehlers, high slot, near side. DeMello, he fanned on a one-timer on a set play. Came off the heel of his stick. Grabbed by Lowry, can't hold the line. And Winnipeg will give up the puck, and it's banked off the window and tumbling down inside that Winnipeg end. It goes. Great chance for the Winnipeg Jets, and Dylan DeMello now carving his way, navigating through that neutralized Fleury, knocked it inside that Dallas end. Perfetti goes after it, far side, trying to help out Nemestikov. Perfetti joins the fight now for Niederreiter. Niederreiter into where the corner of the far side, kicked it along the board there. It's freed up back toward the line for Shen. Shen back for Nemestikov, far side, shoot, block it away by Onger, never got great wood on it. Back the other way to the near side. Robertson, 2-on-2, scurries inside that Winnipeg end. High slot, slung toward the net, that one wide. Tumbled into where the corner, rolled around, trying to wrap it around. From behind the net was Marchand. It went off the end of his stick, right to Niederreiter. He'll shoot in from center ice, and Onger will cover up and hang on with 5:40 remaining. And the third period, 3-2 Dallas. And we'll wait to see if they take that last time out with that shoot in from outside the blue line, and they indeed will do that. 5:40 remaining in the third period. It's getting late. The score, Dallas 3, Winnipeg 2. You're listening to Play Now. Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey. The radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
When you bet with Play Now Sports, goals become... Every game will feel like the big game. Bet local with Play Now Sports, the official betting partner of the Winnipeg Jets. 18 plus, enjoy responsibly.
Winnipeg, are you whiteout ready? Choose Hometown Pride. Choose 1919. Brewed by Little Brown Jug, Manitoba's flagship beer since 2016. Here's to building something memorable.
You know what goes well with pizza from Santa Lucia Pizza. They've been the leaders in quality since 1971, and now they just keep winning award after award after award. So, sounds like they know a thing or two about making tasty pizza. How about this? When you're getting ready on game day, choose one of Santa Lucia Pizza's many specials or combos and find out why time and time again it's listed as Manitoba's favorite pizza.
Santa Lucia Pizza. It's all about the sauce.
This is Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
5:40 remaining in this third period. 3-2 Dallas. Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton with you. Shots on goal totals for Dr. J's Men's Sexual Health Clinic. Need to perform better in the bedroom? See the top-rated doctor on Google and rate MD. Visit Dr. J at WinnipegClinic.com. 27-23 for the Jets. They win the draw back toward the line. Sandberg, far side. Pionk winds up, slap shot, deflected in front, stopped by Ottinger. It's sitting there. And then it's alley-ooped out towards center ice off the stick of Robertson. Good chance for Winnipeg. Looking for Pionk. He'll backhand it into where the corner. Pionk goes after it, wrestles it off the boards, waiting for some help. In there to help out Velarde. Came away with a puck. Skirted it back toward the line for Kyle Connor. Connor swings away from the check. Backhands it back in behind the net. After it goes Lindell. Rolled around to the near side. Pinching down is Sandberg to hold the line. It scores free for Shifley. Shifley back on the far side. At the slot for Connor. Back for Shifley. Broken up. And then ripped over the glove of Neil Pionk back inside that Winnipeg end. Quick up pass. Here comes Shifley again. Carves his way inside that Dallas end. Works his way into where the corner. Put on the brakes. Put it back in behind the net. It's tumbled around to the near side. Fleury trying to pinch in. Knocked it out of the air. They wave off the high stick. Velarde trying to get it back down low for Shifley. Stays on the puck. In to help out his Connor. Banked off the boards though by Rantanen and out towards center ice. It will go. Boy, Dallas hanging on. Winnipeg. Again, some urgency happening in their game right now. Back across the line. Steele will knock it inside the Winnipeg end. Put it back toward the line. Labushkin wavering. Lost the puck. Winnipeg will tap it ahead. They've got three at center ice. Here comes Lowry leading the charge. He'll drop it now. High slot for Ehlers. Trying to take off a check. Ehlers didn't shoot the puck. Curls into where the corner. Ehlers back toward the line. Sandberg shoots. And that's been wide. Lowry goes after the rebound, knocked it into where the corner for Ehlers, back toward the line for Sandberg. That's knocked off his stick by Rantanen. I don't know that Rantanen's came off. Now he will come off. Here's Ehlers, skips back inside the zone. Out in front for Appleton, cutting toward the net. He's knocked off the puck, never got a shot away. Coming back with CC to drive him from behind and off the puck. It's sent all the way down. Ice will be the call against Dallas.
Well, the push continues from the Winnipeg Jets, and Nikolai Ehlers in this third period has been all around it. He had a great chance early in the period on a backhand that just missed the net, and on this play on the rush, he tries to find a teammate in space in middle ice, unable to do so, hangs on to it. Winnipeg, that press is on. You can feel it. It's been on for the most of the period. Dallas trying to keep that middle ice clean.
Face off to the right of Ottinger. Winnipeg won the draw, but they really couldn't gather it up cleanly. And Jamie Benn will get it out towards center ice. Swinging back to the neutral ice is Nemestikov. He'll send it inside the zone. After it goes, Niederreiter for Nemestikov back in behind the net. Ran into Lindell. And Lindell will haul down Nemestikov. No call. Side of the net. Winnipeg will steer it off the boards there. In Niederreiter. Pushed against the boards. Moved up along the wing. Sandberg keeps it alive. Now Miller shoots. And that's blocked in front by Lindell. And then it's pounded off the boards back out towards center ice by the Dallas Stars. Winnipeg swaying back inside their own zone. Miller pass into where the middle for Nemestikov. Tried to redirect it. That was stopped. Sent back by Granlund inside that Winnipeg end. After goes Rantanen. Pinned against the boards. He tripped up DeMello. No call again. Rantanen with the puck. Put it back out in front. A backhand toward the net by Granlund. Gloved down by Hellebuck. That would have been really interesting to see if Granlund would have scored, how this place would have reacted with DeMello getting tripped up, giving up the puck behind his own net by Rantanen.
And then you couple that with the play at the other end of the ice that saw a Winnipeg Jet taken down below the goal line in the Dallas end. And yeah, there would have been some very unhappy fans in white here if that would have gone in. But Connor Hellebuck makes sure that that's not going to be an issue. So Winnipeg with a defensive zone faceoff here.
2:43 remaining in this third period. Stars win the draw. Far side, Harley couldn't hold the line. Racing to pick it up. And here's Appleton to the near side for Iafallo. Pass was back in behind him, but sliding back in behind him. Lowry to hold the line. Lowry into where the corner for Appleton. Back toward the line for Fleury. Far side now for DeMello. Shoots, deflected in front by Iafallo. And that never got through to the goaltender. Swatted back into where the corner. After it hard, there is Appleton. Freed it up DeMello. Up top for Fleury. And it hopped over his stick. And he has to turn his skates to go back into the neutral ice to collect it. Winnipeg wants a change. Pionk will sway back inside his own zone after taking that pass from Fleury. Fleury will head off for a line change to the near side for Kyle Connor. Starts through that neutral ice, will shoot it in. Rims around back in behind the net. After goes Lindell. Lindell will try to get it out. Kept in by Miller. Shoots, and it's off the stick of a challenging Wyatt Johnston up and over the back glass, and out of play goes. 1:50 remaining in this third period. 3-2 Dallas.
Yeah, Colin Miller's been looking for that opportunity kind of all game where this puck just comes out to him at the point. He's got a chance to not necessarily take the slap shot, but lean into a good wrist shot with Winnipeg going to the front of the net. And Johnston kind of in desperation gets that stick out there. And it's like Winnipeg will go to 6-on-5 here.
Deja vu all over again. Under 2 minutes remaining in this third period. Jets are down by 1. The faithful will rise to their feet. Winnipeg wins the draw. Miller up top. Pionk. Far side now for Connor. Connor the hash. Back to the line. Pionk. Near side for Miller. Miller up top. Pionk. Far side for Connor. Put it back out in front. Velarde. Shifley. Shot. Stop. Rebound. They're taking away at it. It's underneath the pile of humanity. And it's still loose. Shifley skewers it away into where the corner for Ehlers. Ehlers still darting around with the puck, trying to get it back toward the line, and it's flushed out towards center ice and knocked back down inside the Winnipeg end from his side of center. Icing will be the call against Dallas. And Gabe Velarde looking to the heavens, wondering how did I not score on that scramble in front of the net.
Oh, exactly. Ottinger pretty much has to sell out to the other side to stop Mark Scheifele, and when that stop is made, the puck falls into the crease. Velarde does a good job net front not to interfere. But yeah, that one backhand shot he had at it kind of just goes off of a stick and a body at the same time, never gets to the net.
1:18 remaining third period. 3-2 Dallas. Timeout called. Everybody's on their feet here. Another sellout, 15,225. Game number 2 will go Friday. Same time, 8:30 Central Time. And Winnipeg will look with 1:18 remaining in this third period to get the equalizer.
So far to this point, Winnipeg's won 29 faceoffs in this game, and Mark Scheifele's won 16 of them. So wouldn't be surprised if number 55 goes into the dot, regardless of what side of the ice this is going to end up on. It looks like it'll be to Ottinger's left.
You were talking about face-offs earlier. Winnipeg did a pretty good job. I mean, Lowry in that first round against St. Louis was 54%. Morgan Barron was 52%. Teams come out of timeout. Scheifele will indeed take the draw against Sam Steele to the left of Ottinger. Steele will have to get his stick down first. Scheifele will win it cleanly. High slot. Connor shoots. Stopped by Ottinger. Swatted into where the corner with the goal stick. Nabbed there again by Scheifele. Scheifele pushed off the puck back in behind the net. Grabbed by CC, rotating into where the corner. Smothered by Jets to the near side. Moved up along the boards. Winnipeg trying to hold the line. Pionk can't. It's grabbed by Johnston out towards center ice. And he's smashed against the boards. Never got a shot away by Nikolai Ehlers. Under a minute to go here in this third period. Can Winnipeg do it again? Kyle Connor to the near side. Lost the puck. CC jammed it off the board. Grabbed again by Connor. Far side for Miller. He drives it inside that Dallas end. 2 out to handle there for the goaltender and Ottinger. Into where the corner goes. Ehlers after with Scheifele. In and to help out is Velarde. Back toward the line. Deflected in front by Scheifele on the shot by Pionk. Gloved down by Ottinger. He'll hang on for a whistle. 31.5 seconds remaining in the third period. 3-2 Dallas.
We saw some impressive deflections by Cole Perfetti in Game 7 against St. Louis. This one by Mark Scheifele would have been something else. tips. The puck is actually behind him as he's going to the front of the net. He reaches behind and tips this puck through his legs. And it goes from the left side of the net going towards the right. Ottinger's got to make a quick reaction save with the glove.
Lowry will take the draw to the right of Ottinger against Seguin. Seguin has to get his stick down first. Lowry's going to win it. Back toward the line for Pionk. Walks the line. Wrists it through traffic. Hit a body. Grabbed again by Shifley. Paddle it around to the near side. Ehlers can't get to it. Winnipeg trying to hold the line. Pionk does. Backhand along the boards for Ehlers. He trudges toward the net near side, and a shot by Shifley stopped short side by Ottinger. And backhanded all the way down by Dallas. A race for the puck. And they're going to blow it down. Icing the goal against Dallas. And the Stars will argue that, and Rope Hintz got into that foot race with Adam Lowry. 9 seconds left in the third period. Time for one face-off opportunity for Winnipeg.
That's just great work by Winnipeg to keep this thing alive as it was moving up the wall. You kind of thought that they were running out of bodies for the Dallas Stars to get through, and they finally forced that turnover, and Ehlers finds Shifley, tries to go short side on Ottinger, who gets a piece of it.
Shifley will take the draw. And Hintz wins it into where the corner. Harley, hard off the boards all the way down. Icing will be the call. 1 second remaining.
I would imagine they put it. Yeah, I would imagine they put maybe another second back on. And well, you go all the way back to the start of the season. We know Winnipeg's got this play. But of course, Dallas would be well aware.
I don't see them adding anything here.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
And Dallas will just flood the slot area off this face-off. Shifley will take the draw against Tyler Seguin. And if you're Seguin, you're just tying up the stick of Shifley here. Trying to creep in is Seguin. Encroachment. One of the linesmen telling everybody to stay outside that circle. And Seguin does indeed tie up the stick. Horn sounds. Game one is over, and it goes to the Dallas Stars by a final score of 3-2 tonight.
And really, almost a similar storyline as we saw against the St. Louis Blues. It's just goals in rapid succession. Mikko Rantanen gets his natural hat trick in 7 minutes and 55 seconds in the second period. Turns a 1-0 Jets lead into a 3-1 Dallas lead. Jets get within one and really pour it on in the third period. A number of great opportunities, but Jake Ottinger is able to keep everything in front of him. And despite some of the best efforts, especially at 6-on-5, Winnipeg not able to find the equalizer in Game 1.
For the first time in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year, the Winnipeg Jets lose at home, and the Dallas Stars jump out to a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 Western Conference semifinal series. Final score, once again, the Dallas Stars 3, the Winnipeg Jets 2. Dallas leads the series 1-0. Totals in the post-game show are coming up next. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
While I was winning, but unfortunately that's just not the way it is. But yeah, I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Leafs. Holy Mackinac, we've passed 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider. The Playoff Pulse campaign is unstoppable. Your support means 100% of Leafs playoff stream revenue keeps helping sick kids with life-saving care. Let's aim even higher. Subscribe now and join this amazing community making a difference. Together, we're showing sick kids the power of sports fans worldwide. Let's keep growing this global community.
NHL playoffs, 7 p.m. Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights face the Edmonton Oilers. Knights on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 949. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels 167, Internet 930. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 8th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, 7 p.m., Washington Capitals take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Capitals on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 950. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 9:30 p.m., Vegas Golden Knights face the Edmonton Oilers. Knights on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 949. Oilers on Sirius and XM channels.
Welcome to Toronto Sports Insider. I am Mike Guglielmi, starting up this new channel here on YouTube, Toronto Sports Insider. Thanks for joining me tonight on this game. Nick Nurse is all over the referee, just waiting to get tossed. He's just trying to get tossed. Back to bring you the Senators and the Maple Leafs, the third game, the rubber match. The Blue Jays are back. Shot and he scores! Shorthanded goal for the Leafs. I love it. I love it. Oh, passed out in front. Yes! Boom! Nylander with the goal out front. That's what I'm talking about right there. Glad to have you hanging out for TFC and Lyon. Leg 2. All right, guys, we got a bunch of people hanging out in the chat. Say hi. To get a piece of it. Fair ball down the right field line. That's going to score one.
Marner with a shot. Blocked. Rebound in front. Jammed it. Scores! Touchdown! Valdez-Scantling.
Who's going to win tonight? The Leafs! Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Pitches to George Springer, who jacks the ball to left field, way back, and gone.
A long lead pass for Matthews. Matthews is in alone. Scores! Holy Mackinac!
Are now 3 shy of the ultimate goal.
Hi, Vancouver. Hi.
Thank you all so much. 25,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who has made a difference in this campaign so far. This community is amazing. The work that we're doing with SickKids is amazing. Any little bit that you could do to help will show that this community can do big things together. We are just about to pass 44,000. Thank you so much. Cheers, insiders. Thank you all for helping us hit 50,000 subscribers. We donate a percentage of our revenue every single month to SickKids Hospital.
Now to Nylander, closing, score!
And Toronto snaps the 11-game losing streak.
Lots of time. All day. Way too much time. Fires end zone. Touchdown.
Here's Matthews with a step to the forehand. Score! Marner scores! Mitch Marner!
Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
Florida Gators are the national champions, and we just passed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let's go! Here is the cake right here. Boom, yeah, show, there it is, 100K. We love you, TSI Mike /Dad. And what a ride it's been, because holy Mackinac, what a group of people we have here on TSI.
Going out there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Thursday, May the 8th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check Sirius